The king right now is still busy. He's not available because he's not here.
What at the end? What happened with the father and the girl's body? Did he uh? Because I think we left them with the night when we left, right?
He's still there in the castle. He came to the castle asking for assistance when he found the body of his daughter. So he's still there.
Okay, just so this, let's see if we're all on the same page. I mean, I think he might be the werewolf, the farmer who came in, just because he was the only one. Somehow, all the sheep and his daughter were all murdered by the werewolf, and yet he's left completely unscathed. And it seems like the werewolf got pretty close to his house, his barn, and his field. And then it destroyed it, and then it went and tore up the family of the farmer, the other farmer family, and specifically the farmer family that had their child, the son, that was dating his daughter. And if you notice, one of the things I remember is that while like the parents were all eaten up, the son who was dating his daughter was torn apart and like cruelly and intently just torn apart without being eaten at all. So it seemed like that was more out of malice and less out of hunger. So
So you're
anybody else think he might?
suspecting you said you're suspecting the father was the werewolf?
Yes.
Okay. Does anybody remember the name I gave? Because I don't. For the father.
Let me see. I just found my notebook.
I didn't take
So
a
let
note. I
me
know
see.
that. Know that.
Excited Baron Farmer Thomas
Yes,
lost his
Tomas.
daughter.
Tomas, that's right.
Yeah.
When you get back to the castle, Tomas is still there. He's kind of being he's being comforted by by some of the aides in the castle. They're helping him take care of the remains of his daughter. But as you approach the castle, you hear like there's some people walking around, some of your citizens, and they're kind of mumbling things. They're like, "Oh, well, this doesn't seem like, it doesn't seem like this land is that secure. If there's people getting killed in the streets, yeah, yeah." You hear some grumblings and whisperings. Like there's some unrest and discontent going on because this the rumors about this murder has spread.
Right.
They're like, "Yeah, you know what? Grigori's right." People are walking around. It's like, yeah, maybe it was a mistake to move here. Because it seems like this land is not really ready for settlement, and so you're hearing some malcontent from your citizens. The unrest has been going up in your even though we're not playing Kingdom Rules, your unrest is going up.
Yeah.
Okay. Just so we remember, the daughter's name is Saki.
Yeah, yeah. The daughter's name's Saki. That I have. That's part of the quest itself.
Saki?
Saki.
Yeah.
Sakya. Okay. That's a strange name, man.
And the boyfriend that died in the farm was random, right?
Brevin.
Revan.
Raven.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, so they were very young. They were like teenagers, and they were sort of having a tryst. They were in love, um, and you're not sure if he has anything to do with it or had anything to do with it.
He's dead. They're both dead.
Yeah,
The lover, both lovers.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like a date that went wrong.
This happened at night while she was outside, and because she likes to gather strawberries by moonlight,
Yeah,
and
she's pretty
and
crazy.
and you went and investigate the field. And another thing, just to remind you, last time is that when you met Jubilost, his caravan was stuck in a river while he and his helpers were trying to cross, and you were assaulted by kobolds. The
Right.
kobolds there's something weird going on with them because, as you recall, you have not yet killed that kobold named Tartuk. He escaped you, and these kobolds, once you dealt with them, you found that they all have these purple armbands, and you know that purple is Tartuk's color without a doubt.
Right.
So there might
Yeah.
be a connection to that kobold that you guys that has been a thorn in your side.
But I wouldn't be concerned about last unless there was a connection with the wearers, the lycanthropes in him. But it doesn't seem like we found
Yeah,
anything.
no, there's nothing. There's nothing to suggest that has the kobolds have anything to do with the werewolf.
I mean, we'll get Mr. Purple eventually and roast him. But
I think what I'm trying to remember, they said that it was about a new empire, and who was Morhold? Well, was that the guy that we
More
killed?
no, Mournhold is your town. Remember remember Ehrman, he likes the death kind of theme. So Mournhold and Fellhaven is the name of your country and your town
Fellhaven, yeah.
and your capital.
Um,
Fellhaven's the country or the yeah, that's the country, right?
Yeah, Fellhaven's the name of your nation, and Mournhold is the name of your town, and he had to defend those names in front of the council.
Yeah, that
okay.
Fellhaven's pretty nasty. What it means in old English. But anyways, that's cool. Mm,
Okay, so we're back. And the guy is still there, so we can go back to him. So can we throw dice to see if we do know any information, like our characters themselves know information about where people?
Actually, remember Jubilost? Jubilost, he seems to know a lot about everything. He actually writes encyclopedias, and he's told you a lot about these lycanthropes. He's told you that there's a difference between the true lycanthropes and the people who were bitten by a werewolf and then turned into a werewolf. The main difference is that the true lycanthropes are born that way. They
oh
have
yeah.
they have a certain amount of conscious control when they turn, and they have control over when they turn. Like they don't just turn involuntarily in a full moon and then wake up later and don't know what's going on. They have some control over it. The lycanthrope thralls, the ones that got bitten by a werewolf, they're the traditional werewolf where you don't even know you're a werewolf, but you wake up in a bloody mess and naked on in bed and you have no idea what happened. Those are the converted werewolves. He does say that the if you get cursed by lycanthropy, it is very very difficult curse to get rid of, especially if it's a very it depends on how powerful the werewolf is. So the more powerful the werewolf is, the higher your saving throw, etc. And the higher the level of magic you need to try to cure it.
Well, we certainly need to find this one because it's killing
Yeah.
innocent
Yeah, unlike
citizens.
unlike a vampire, you can't just kill the head vampire and then all of his thralls are released. Though, like a lycanthrope is sort of like if you got it, you got it, and you're stuck with it unless you can use powerful magics. So this is a dangerous situation. I mean, you guys can get bitten.
So, question: do we know their main weakness? Our characters.
Well, it's common knowledge that they don't like silver.
I don't have any.
Hey Neg, I know you have like that dart spell. Do you have any silver on you?
Do I have what? Sorry.
Because you get like silver ore, and you can use like that dark cantrip you have to throw silver.
Oh yeah, yeah. If I have a chunk of silver, I can use it instead of cold iron for sure. It should
So
probably.
you can buy a chunk of silver, I think, for similar price as cold iron. A chunk like I think it's
You
listed
said
as
gold
a
pieces.
silver ore.
Okay, because cold
Um,
iron was pretty pricey, but I'll buy one if I think I have the money. Um,
I put it in the
yeah,
chat because I have one.
yeah, one weapon that's silver.
No, I have the silver chunk because I also have needle darts as one of my.
Oh, you have needle darts too. Oh, hold on to that silver chunk. We're back in
Uh,
our town, so I
yes,
could probably
and
buy it.
there's also there are prices you can pay to actually upgrade your weapons to have to be silver as well.
Yeah, but if someone with needle darts doesn't want to do that, needle darts is.
Yeah, needle darts is not necessary, but if you want to, for instance, you know, coat some arrows with silver. If you want to make your sword silver, you can do that too. There are rules for that, of course.
Okay, but and being in Mournhold, there is no doubt stores that are selling it, right? Chunks of
You,
silver.
so your town is equivalent to your character levels. I mean, so because
Oh, okay.
we're not playing Kingdom rules, so your town is a
Yeah,
level 4 town. So in a level 4 town, any item that's level 4, you can find.
I don't think it even tells you what a silver chunk level is.
Oh no, silver
Oh,
chunk doesn't require a level.
yeah.
That's a level 0 item.
Okay.
But I think to in order to create a silver weapon, that's like a level 2 item, level 2 or higher.
I'm probably not high enough level to buy a witchy shotgun of psychic torture yet, right?
You can actually buy silver ammunition for your gun.
I
For a
don't have a
gun.
gun. All right.
Jubilos is
Really?
the only character who has a gun right now, actually.
Even
Because
though,
guns do exist in this world, they're just not common. It's a
because
little.
he needs to feel tough, so he's got a gun. That's a typical gnome thing, I think.
Oh yeah, gnomes are actually given a lot of respect in the Pathfinder world, as opposed to the D&D
Yeah.
world, where it's more like oh, they're a bunch of silly creatures. In the Pathfinder world, they're giving a lot of in-depth lore.
There you go.
So one
Uh,
thing I did mention previously, I brought up, and you can figure out if that's how relevant it is when you met Jubilos, you notice that he has a streak of white hair.
I think you
Oh.
mentioned that.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mentioned that
Do,
specifically. I'm not telling you the relevance. Maybe you can
do any of
discover
my
it.
skills like Arcana and
This is a society skill. It's not a hard
okay,
roll.
I'm really good at society, I
Yeah,
think.
it's not a hard
I
roll
can
at
roll
all.
a
I'm
Go
rolling.
ahead.
All right, I'm rolling a society. Okay, I'm supposed to be good at society, but apparently not. God, oh, there's somebody.
Okay. Talos, you succeeded on this roll. Unfortunately, 13 is too low.
Yeah,
In gnomes in the world of Galarian and the Pathfinder world, there's a special gnomes are some of the most primordial beings in the universe. They were created long before humans and elves and dwarves and whatnot. Originally, in the creation myth of the universe, the first thing that was created with sentient beings is a place called the First World. That's why it's called the First World, of course. And the First World is exactly like the Feywild, in terms of what it looks like and where what it is. It's full of Fey, and so Fey are some of the original creatures in the first. That inhabited the first world when the gods first created sentient beings. This was before the material plane and the world of Galarian was created. So in the first world, there existed gnomes. They were some of the original creations of the first beings, along with fairies and fae and whatnot. So the thing about gnomes is that they were very inquisitive. They wanted to explore. They wanted to challenge norms. They didn't want to just sit there. They always want to go out and venture. And what they did is, once the material world was created, they wanted to go and explore it. Now, all creatures in the first world are immortal. Even if you kill one, it will respawn somewhere else inside the first world. Because they're immortal, they have no fear of death. So they have a tendency to get bored and they just kind of live in their own world, and they like to play tricks on each other
Right.
because once there's no more, risk of mortality, your whole life is just about, well, let's just do something interesting because I'm bored. And that's where gnomes were at until gnomes realized, you know what, we can find a portal, a passageway into the material world, and we can go to the material world and explore. Unbeknownst to them is that the minute you leave the first world and go to the material world, you start losing your connection to the first world, and you slowly become mortal. So when gnomes left the first world and entered the material realm, they became mortal. So once they became mortal, they became, they kind of on the same level of everything else in the material world, like humans and elves. However, the gods, the gnomish god, first world gods, and there's several gods, like fairy gods in the first world, they wanted to continue to protect the gnomes. So they gave the gnomes a blessing. The gnomes can continue to remain immortal. However, in order to continue having this immortality, they have to keep going out and adventuring. They have to keep challenging themselves. They have to keep learning new things and going out exploring. The minute they stop exploring, they start dying. And it's not clear how long it takes. Sometimes it takes a couple of years. Sometimes it takes a couple of centuries. But they start dying with the minute they slow down. And that dying is a condition called the bleaching. So when the gnome starts to bleach, it's irreversible. They're eventually going to die. It's just a matter of time.
So that
And
explains it.
yeah, and what bleaching is physically is that you slowly start turning white. First, all your hair turns white, then your skin turns white, then your eyes turn white, and then you become a shell of a creature, and then you die. And if this gnome has a streak of white in his hair, he's begun bleaching. So that's what
Um,
the streak of white means.
with my knowledge of occultism, which is pretty good because I was apprenticed into it under my master Mirren, could I come up? Would I know sort of where lycanthropes are likely to lair?
You don't have to roll for this. Lycanthropes want to blend into society because
Okay, so
part of them is still human or elven or whatnot. So they don't want to completely exist out in the wild. It would be difficult for them because they will still have their human side still has to survive. So they would most likely be near people.
what about a born one? Let a werewolf from birth. They're not likely to be in cities, right?
even a
Are they?
werewolf even a werewolf from birth is still partly human, so they might not choose to live
Okay,
in a city, but they would still need contact with society.
they're
They would,
comfortable.
yeah, just like any other human. They wouldn't want to be, unless a human can be a complete hermit and live out in the mountains or something, but in general their human side is still similar to any other human.
So these could be in here in Mournhold. These these lycanthropes.
Yeah.
Hey, John. I don't know if we need to roll for this, but do we know when the next full moon is?
Oh, you don't need to roll for that. The full moon just passed. Yeah, it just occurred last night. So the next full moon would be approximately 2 weeks away. So it would be around, right now the date is the 20th. Here's the date. So right now it's Desnus. So Desnus
Is
is
there
sort of like May. And it would be around maybe June 3rd, I think.
is there a way to detect a lycanthrope?
Besides, besides using detective skills to kind of deduce that this
Right.
person is the murderer, obviously you can trap somebody on a full moon and watch them turn. Or
Okay,
you
that.
can go around poking people with silver and see who reacts the worst.
Oh, I like that idea. How much does a silver pin cost?
You can have that for free.
All right. I don't know if I'm going to be that crazy to try and poke somebody, but it's interesting.
Because think of it, you have silver coins, right? It's still pure silver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Another question, John, for werewolves. I know full moons train them, but for both of them, for a full born, for one born with it, and for one bitten, like if they're under like duress, like physical or a lot of emotional, is it known they turn into a werewolf, or is it strictly full moon for some of them?
It depends on in with a true werewolf. Yes, if you threaten them and they think that they're under stress, they will choose to turn into werewolf
Oh,
to protect themselves.
just a minute.
Uh,
I
in
got to
term
close.
in terms of one of the werewolf thralls, they don't have any control of when they turn into werewolf. So it's only the moon that'll turn them into a werewolf. But a true werewolf can't turn into one at will. And if obviously if you threaten it, it's going to turn into a more powerful form to defend itself.
Does the
But
human form be able to, like, for example, if I give a silver chunk to somebody to hold,
no,
would it have a
no,
reaction?
that won't hurt. It's not like garlic against the vampire. That won't hurt the werewolf. You have to attack it with silver to harm it. But you can werewolf. You don't need silver to kill it. It's not like it's immortal without. You can still harm it without using silver. It's just that silver is its weakness. So if you hit it with silver, it's gonna do weakness damage. Like you can kill it the traditional way. You can burn it. It's not like it's completely immortal and you can't injure it without silver. And
Oh,
if he just holds silver, not going to do anything. You have to attack it just like how you kill anybody else with silver. So they are masters at blending into society. Otherwise, they would have been, gotten rid of a long time ago.
Okay, so does anybody else agree it might be the farmer who did it, Tomas, or do you guys think it might not be him?
Oh, I think there's some possibility.
I
Yeah.
also feel, but I feel that also we shouldn't judge too quickly. Maybe we should
Mhm.
go to Jubilost and go with our findings and try to see what he can detect from his
Yeah.
investigating.
We got to have more clues. We don't have enough clues right now. So yeah.
Jubilost actually has a fourth wall breaking special ability.
A what special ability?
Fourth wall breaking, sort of, where
Oh, okay.
where he does some roles like pursue a lead,
Hmm.
and I just if he succeeds on the roll, I just tell him what's the next step. So I think part of this quest is kind of introducing Jubilost a little bit. So you guys go over to where Jubilost has settled down, and he and his men are there, and they're just kind of setting up shop. They recently purchased a house inside Mournhold, and you know that this is Jubilost's life savings, pretty much. And you go in, and the whole place is very busy. It's a small house, but it's got a lot of rooms for all the gnomes to live in. And he and his men are kind of busy, just like setting up shop. They're putting up bookshelves, and he's brought along with his caravan a massive amount of different books, some of which he's written, some of which are reference materials. And he's so busy he barely even notices you guys coming in.
So we can browse around without him seeing us.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right. Does it look like he has his library already set up?
That's what they're setting up. So they're setting up
Okay.
bookshelves.
Oh, okay, okay. I wondered if there were some books that we could read that might help us while they're doing that. But it
Right.
sounds like
Well, right now you guys look through it's a jumbled mess because there's books everywhere. He has not
okay.
categorized them.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And he starts yelling at one of them. She's like, "No, no!" He says, "The botany, the botany of the Moanga Expanse. Should be come after the fauna of Moanga Expanse. I've told you a million times." He's sitting there yelling at his workers.
Is he one of these obsessive alphabetize or die types? Is that
He's most definitely OCD. Like everything has to be exactly in its place.
Okay, I'm gonna walk up. I mean, unless there's anything else you guys want to spawn, I think we should walk up and talk to him.
So when he sees you guys, he's when'd you come here? When'd you get here? I'm not ready to receive you yet. We're just setting things up. He kind of a little bit rude for the leaders of
well?
the country.
Well,
He's kind
we're
of
trying to
very
get on with this.
oblivious.
Just say we're trying to get on with this investigation, and we need to know information now. We can't wait for you to set up your library.
He says, well, yes, yes, of course, but how else can I help?
Where do you where do you think it's likely that if this is indeed a werewolf or a lycanthrope, anyways, where do you think they likely are right now?
It's very unfortunate. Unless you picked up clues to where he's been, he could be anywhere. Yeah, as you know, lycanthropes, they love blending into society. Oftentimes, they could be anyone. But there's usually signs, if you ask around town to see if anybody's suspiciously slinking around or disappeared at night. But there's a, there's hundreds of people in your town, so it's very difficult
Okay,
to
well,
narrow who's behaving strangely. But usually, there's clues. There's always clues. It's like, did you find anything, that piqued your interest that any leads that we can follow?
now the last session where we were on the farm where they were murdered, we did see some unusual things on the bodies, correct?
Yes, do you remember?
No, well, there was. No, I don't remember. I thought there was gnawing of some sort that looked suspicious, but maybe not. They were clawed.
we had letters from Brevin, and
Yes.
it was mostly blood and guts.
So this is Jubilost's feat on the case. As an investigator, you think of your adventures as cases waiting to be solved. You gain one activity and one reaction that can use to investigate the case. Pursue a lead and clue in. So pursue a lead. He already sets up pursue a lead, but you name one detail you've identified that you think is part of a larger mystery. Then spend 1 minute examining it. The details typically obvious or you've already discovered using recall knowledge. And the GM confirms that there's a larger mystery or tells you there's nothing more. So if you have a lead, you point to some sort of clue, and using Jubilost, I can tell you if this clue is right or wrong, hot or cold, pretty much. So you may ask a question. Jubilost will do a roll.
Okay, so Jubilix, I have a question for you then. So I've noticed there, at least I feel like there were strange things in these bodies. I've noticed most of every body that was taken out was torn to butts, pieces, but it looked like it was mostly chewed and eaten, something eating out of hunger. Wow, Tomas. His daughter, Saki, got in a relationship with this boy, with a farmer boy, and I've noticed that his body and just his body only wasn't didn't look like it had a single bite mark on him, and seemed like he was just torn limb from limb, like he was attacked out of malice and cruelty and not out of hunger. Does that seem like a clue to maybe Thomas could have been the werewolf?
Oh, okay. So he's going to do a masked perception roll. I'm rolling for Jubilost. You don't know how Jubilost rolled, but I'm gonna tell you that's warm. You know, like hot or cold, warm.
Okay.
What you just
Good.
mentioned. So this is a little bit it's like a fun kind of mystery kind of mechanic. So because of what Jubilost rolled, Jubilost says yes, that might be meaningful what you just said. So he says so in what you're in putting it like this, if there is conscious intent to these murders, we're assuming, then we might be dealing with a werewolf who's conscious of what it's doing, meaning it's a true werewolf. And if there is malice in what the werewolf is doing, then we have to be looking at people who would have a grudge against farmers, which I think is kind of strange. I don't understand why anybody would have a grudge against farmers. Do you have another question you want to do hot or cold?
I wish I remember that encounter better. I don't.
It was so
Yeah,
long
it was.
ago.
Yeah. So he was. It was very bloodthirsty. The body of Brandon,
He says, well,
and it.
it says
Mhm.
it's difficult to say, because any werewolf attack would be absolutely brutal. Werewolves are not known to be make clean kills, just like a crazed rabid wild animal. It's not unusual for these creatures to rip a body apart.
Then how about this? Since Saki's body was a part, her head was apart from the body because that's how we met his father, which shows the head. Um, do you think the father could have been a werewolf and beat Saki's? I mean, the killer of Brandon.
I will do a roll for Jubilost in terms of his ability to deduce. Uh, where is this?
Hmm.
So Jubilost says, well, I think that if we are dealing with a true werewolf, if, as you say, the Saki's own father is a true werewolf, it would be unusual for him to kill his daughter and then come to you to seek help, unless he's trying to frame someone.
Hmm. Maybe
So
you're
that's
right.
Hmm,
cold. That's
that's
cold.
true.
I would
Oh,
say that's cold
okay.
instead of hot.
Going back to that encounter when we came to the farm, did we pick up tracks? I don't remember if we picked up tracks.
You picked up tracks,
Oh,
but you were not skilled enough to find the tracks to completion.
okay. Which is saying a lot
But
considering we
but
started at such a high survival.
finding there were several roles. So you rolled very well
Hmm.
in terms of identifying the tracks were both wolf and human, which made you conclude that this is a werewolf. But the tracks, the roles to follow the tracks to their conclusion, you didn't succeed on.
Okay.
I'm trying to see my notes, but it's hard.
I can't remember. I don't think I took many notes myself. Let's see.
I know she died in the strawberry patch near the lake, and
Yeah.
she was meeting Brandon
Bevan,
at
yeah,
night.
yeah, they were on their little romantic teenage trysts at night.
But he was killed in the farm, so she wasn't with her when she died.
Nope.
So I wonder here, could there be two killers?
You want to ask? You want
Yeah.
Jubilos to try to? Okay. I'll roll another one. I'll roll a deduction for Jubilos. Remember, Jubilos rolls low. I'm going to give you a false answer. Uh,
Yeah.
so Jubilos says, yeah, that does make sense because the killings are far apart and doesn't, that if it were one creature killing both, you would notice that, why didn't he kill the rest of the family? So that's a maybe lukewarm warm.
Now I'm trying to remember. Did we ask the guards whether or not there were like wild and malicious killings like this elsewhere?
The guards have not seen anything like this before.
Or more importantly, heard rumor of?
I think the only thing that I remember was that I don't think the father knew they were lovers at all. And only Marie, Rosemary or something like that, which was the wife of the baker or something like that,
Yeah.
knew they were lovers.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Well, we don't really know if he knew or didn't. If anything, I think we should, like, before we get decided, I think we would need to interview him. Because even if he wasn't transformed, he might look tired. So we need to see if he's sleepy. We know he's crazed because his daughter just got murdered and torn to pieces. But if he looks sleepy, that's a hint. Maybe we could inquire. Maybe if we could get him to talk, maybe he might let us know if he knew about Revan. But I don't think we could directly ask him. I think we need to, like, get him to talk about it himself, you know?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
But
maybe there could be two killers, maybe. Maybe Saki's father, I don't really feel that maybe he's the murderer because it felt like two different places.
I
Uh,
mean, the farm
so
So
isn't that long of a
so
walk.
what would you like to do? I mean, right now it's kind of like nighttime already.
um,
Yeah, we're still going by the the clock. So right now it's about nighttime. Yeah, you guys had a long day. You went out and explored. You
better
say
better go to the tavern.
you guys
Yeah.
don't have yeah, you guys don't have you have like an inn and a tavern combined. So
Okay.
so
Well,
you so you guys walk over to the tavern and there's a lot of hubbub going on
yeah.
because the word of this murder has gotten out. And
Listen for rumors.
yeah, people in a town are really kind of worked up over it. However, the minute you enter the tavern, everybody knows who you are, so they quiet down. And they kind of
Oh,
they kind of they
we
kind
should
of
have
all
snuck
stare
in.
at you. They kind of all stare at you, and it sounds like they were having a certain conversation that has changed because you guys showed up. And everyone
does
everyone
anybody
looks
have
at you and they're
transformation?
like my lords and my lady, and everybody's trying to pay they're being honorable and paying their respects to you. However, you see people have kind of glancing at each other through the side of their eye, like there's some discontent going on. There's unrest going on in your town.
So buy a round for everybody who will openly gossip. Start gossiping again.
Okay, so you throw a couple of coppers on a table, but people thank you for their drinks, but it's clear that they don't want to start saying stuff in front of you, and
Hmm.
everybody kind of quiets down.
Maybe then we need to
Like
go
they
upstairs.
because there might be a little bit of fear because they
Mhm.
don't want maybe what they have to say is not something that's going to look well on them if they say these things, but they don't want to be gossiping in front of you. Definitely, they're very aware of you showing up because everybody knows you guys are the leaders of the entire nation.
Do you know what? I'm going to do something crazy. I stand up. I go into the table that is in the middle of the bar. Uh, I go up on that and say, "Do you want us to be good leaders? If you want us to be good leaders, tell us what's the most unrest news that we have right now.
That
Maybe
would
then we
that would be an intimidation roll.
really."
Yeah, well, this. Oh well. I mean, what
Well,
you
maybe
said? You say you
persuasion.
jump. Right now, they're scared of you, and then you're going to jump on a table and say, "Do you want to be good leaders?" That's a little bit more intimidation.
Then no. I did not do
Well,
that.
you might
I
make
don't
it.
have
You never know.
intimidation either way. I have
What about?
diplomacy.
Yeah, I have diplomacy too. Some to some
But when
point.
people are scared of you and you directly confront them, that's a little bit more like you're not threatening them, but it's they are they're everybody's looking around and sort of like this is not my problem. I just I hope somebody else is talking to these guys. I don't want to be the one talking to the authorities kind of situation.
Okay, then I'm going to do something else then.
Okay.
I take a piece of paper and I write on it and put anyone that feels unrest can I will lend your ear. And if it's a very difficult thing to say, I will be at I'll just say that I'll be in a specific room in the inn and I can hear them.
Okay. That's more of a
Hmm.
persuasion or a diplomacy.
Okay.
Diplomacy.
Do
Yeah,
you want me to do
Yeah, that's a roll.
conversations right
That's a
now?
roll.
Okay.
that's pretty good. Hmm.
The DC, you still didn't match the DC. So you put out the piece of paper, and none of your
Wait,
cat.
wait. I'll do a hero point.
Oh, okay, sure.
Mm,
Ooh, you're still
pretty
short.
useless.
All right. I will. I will. I'll stand up on that table and I will say, "Come, come now, everyone. My friend here. She is asking for assistance. We are aligned. We are close friends of the king. We need assistance. Please come forward to her." And I will roll my diplomacy. Will you allow me to roll diplomacy for that?
Sure. The DC has
Right.
gone up a little bit because of the previous
Oh
fail.
yeah, she'll make a
Not that.
sliding.
Yeah, yeah, but it's not
All
like
right, I'll roll. What the hell? 22.
22 is a success. Nobody comes forward, but no, comes forward to kind of talk to you about it. But you do see like
Well, I pointed
the
the gun.
barkeep does come to you guys, and the barkeep kind of kind of leans over and she says, "Listen, right now your citizens are extremely terrified because of the murder, and the gruesome details have gotten all around town." And there actually is a young man who came in here earlier who gave a speech criticizing how you run your kingdom, the lawlessness, and criticizing, why would you want to live in a place called Fellhaven? What do you expect? And a lot of the citizens are just terrified. And she says, right now it's very difficult for anybody to say anything. He says, but I can tell you what I know.
Please do.
So the barkeep says, well, there's a lot of chatter that the citizenry thinks that you may not be competent leaders, that you're selfish and only care about your own interests, and these murders, there's more than one murder, and you're not doing enough to actually solve them, and the citizens don't feel safe, and there's a lot of unrest starting to build up. And it's especially true because there's a young man who comes in here and kind of gives a little bit of a speech. He kind of gathers much of an audience. He comes in here every now and then, and he's highly critical of you. His name is Grigori.
Gory, we know that name.
No, you've never heard the name Grigori.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Grigori.
Yeah, Grigori. And he says, yeah,
Mm.
he's that man is definitely contributing to the citizens feeling terrified. He's giving graphic descriptions of these murders, and he's saying, "How do you know you won't be next? This is how it is when you live in an unsafe place." And so some of the citizens are kind of mentioning possibly leaving.
Is he a regular of this tavern? Like, is he a daily visitor?
In fact, I have not seen him at all
Mhm.
since before these murders happened. It seems he just
Since
started.
before the full
Yeah.
moon.
As a matter of fact, he was just here a few hours ago before you came in. I don't know where he is or where he's staying.
Mm.
And you say that he gives graphic description of every death.
Well, I think that word has gone out because there are a lot of the guards. Some of the guards have never seen a murder this bad, and they've kind of started spreading the rumors. He just amplifies it. He just makes it sound as bad as possible. He's very eloquent in his description, just very horrific and very critical of the leadership in this nation.
Hmm. I don't say it to the barkeep, but I say it to everyone else. Sounds like someone we need to deal with.
Absolutely.
I would,
Like, maybe not in a nice way.
He says
I
the
think we should
barkeep says,
talk to him
but be
first.
careful because a lot of the townfolk are starting to side with him, and if you start oppressing him or you start showing him what the townfolk thinks is unfair treatment, it might turn a lot of the townfolk against you.
We're much more professional than that. We would
Yeah,
take him when he's unawares and when no one's around.
that's always the option. Just ambush him. But
Yeah.
clearly, this
Or
person has
actually,
made himself an enemy to you.
I think we should take him to our side because if somebody that has the people's vote, it would be
Yeah,
good to have him on our
Mm-hmm.
side and
Good
be an
point.
he
orator
says.
for our.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
he was here for hours today, convincing the townfolk and scaring them. But he's gone now. Left about 2 hours ago.
Do you know which direction he left in?
He says, "I'm not sure. No, I don't. I've never seen him before. Must be staying somewhere in town."
And yet, this is the only
Is
inn
there?
in tavern, right? There's no other inns in our town yet, correct?
There's no other inns, but that doesn't mean he has not rented or if he has, if he has enough coin, he could
To
have
rent
rented
a
a
house.
house. Yeah, there are hundred, 100 different houses, dwellings around, and then in the surrounding countryside, there's even more.
Mm-hmm.
Question: Does this Gregory? Does he have a usual time he comes in to the tavern?
Well, I only met him today, but he came in the afternoon.
Okay. I mean, maybe before we do anything, we should get a good visual of this guy. See what he's like. See what he's saying specifically. Does anybody have access? Like, is anybody good at disguising themselves or has like a disguise self type spell?
Mm.
No, maybe
Uh,
Arid Man with the
your
wizard.
king does. Your king does.
Yeah,
But he's still busy with state issues.
I'm trying to remember if I do. I got so many I haven't used, I forget what I have. I don't think I have something like that, though.
I can only transform into a plant. I mean, unless you want me to transform into a Aronian bush outside of the inn for a whole night and see if I see him, or
I mean,
outside,
it's
but then that would be suspicious because there's a Aronian bush outside.
I mean, well, we don't want to hear his speech. What if we just like we colluded with the tavern keeper since they seem to be on our side? If they talk to us, they have to at least like us somewhat.
Their livelihood is based on your providence and of course they're on your side. The tavern
I
owner. I
mean, what
mean,
if?
she opened her shop in your town. Of course, she wants your favor.
I mean, what if we got a pot and we just like You turn in that plant, we plant you in that pot, and we just leave you in the tavern.
Well, yeah, that's also a
Yeah,
good
because you're.
thing.
I mean, you're small, right? So it shouldn't have to be too big of a pot.
Yeah, I'm small.
So your idea is to hide in something and wait for him to come to the tavern?
So
No, my idea is to
so you
like
can
literally
you
change that.
can you change into something where people won't recognize you as who you are, because people know who you are.
Hmm.
Obviously, you're one of the leaders of the town, so they know about the Leshy girl who's one of the leaders of the town. So, do you have an ability that can change you into something where they're not recognizing you?
I mean, literally it's plant form.
Okay,
Ah,
Like,
that works. I see. So be in a pot as a plant. That I think can work.
I think that's
yeah,
yeah, that's
or
perfect. I didn't know
I
there
can
was a
have my
spell like that.
yeah, I have my familiar that can transform into that, and he can tell me that.
Okay,
I
so
still have my shadow owl, but
But
my
I think I
shadow.
do have that plant form because I think
Okay.
where. Let me see where it is. It's been a
I have
while.
to go to my browser.
yeah, so you can
So yeah,
listen through your familiar. Your familiar changes into a tiny plant. You can put it as a potted plant in a tavern, and nobody would know.
Darn it.
Yeah, that would
okay,
work.
then perfect. I'll do that.
So when do you want to do this?
Since everybody's
I mean,
seeing us right now, I go to the barkeeper and say, "Can you show me a room so I can talk to you for a moment?" And there I can just
Sure.
um
So you and the barkeep go into like the back room.
yeah. So okay, here I make my familiar into I give like to the side before he can see. I transform my familiar into a platform and give it to him and say, "Put this plant somewhere where they normally the young man normally discuss uh about our tyranny or our lack of protection."
All right. The barkeep says certainly I can put it right in the corner of the main room. That's where he was last time.
Okay, perfect. That'll be perfect. And thank you so much. And I give him um for all his good deeds. I give him 5 gold coins.
Oh, yeah, it's a she. She's a big kind of a big large lady. Very happy. She's very happy to take care of 5 gold coins. So while Scarlet is in the back room with the barkeep, you guys. So another man stumbles from one of the inn rooms, stumbles down, and clearly he's intoxicated, and he's just starts whispering, "Oh, freaking another beaver pelt! Hunt another beaver pelt!" It's like, how many beaver pelts, in this season? There's no beavers out there. And he's kind of sitting there talking to himself, completely inebriated as he stumbles outside of the he stumbles, barely noticing you guys, just completely drunken, and just stumbles out of the inn.
Hmm.
He looks like this guy.
Looks pretty werewolfy to me.
Here you go. Because yeah,
That's
well, actually,
discrimination.
in this fantasy world, most people would be
Look like that.
They
yeah.
look like them. I know. I didn't expect
So
to see him wearing a
so
tuxedo.
so he's completely just inebriated, just kind of stumbles outside the inn, and you see him kind of he doesn't even close the door behind him. And then as Scarlet and the barkeep comes back, she's like, "Oh, is that Kundal again?" He's like, every night, just freaking, he just gets plastered. Who got who knows where he goes? And she's like, "Oh man, if he didn't have if he didn't have enough coin to pay for his room, I'd have kicked him out last week." And she goes over and slams the door shut.
was he here last night? He said he's here every night, so does that include last night?
Oh, don't mind him. He's a hunter. I think there's something wrong with him. All he does is drink all night and just goes out and wanders around. But he's harmless. He's just he's boarding here. He says something about he needs he needs to stay here because he's trying to hunt some rare animals or something like that.
Yeah, he was
He's a
talking a
rage
lot about
yeah
regional politics.
he's a rager by trade.
Okay. Yeah, any chance he ever talked about where he hunts?
No, he barely talks to anybody. He just in the daytime he's either out hunting or he's sleeping. In the nighttime he just gets drunk and who knows where he goes. And then he comes back in the daytime completely plastered every day, every single night.
Mm.
A hairy night owl. That seems like a clue. If he's hunting beavers, he must be following the river.
Possibly.
Okay.
And this season it's beavers are hard to hunt. So he pretty much hunts pelts. He goes out at night, completely drunk, but he goes out hunting pelts or things like that and brings them back. And he's been there for a couple of weeks already. She says she just thinks that he's very sloppy and has poor hygiene, and she doesn't want him in his in her inn. And he's
Hey
kind of
John,
a very foul mouthed to the other patrons and just a very nasty guy.
I know he already left, so it might be too late for this. But how does his clothes look? Were they just dirty? Because I know he's out there in a ranger. But would they any chance to look all torn up or anything like that?
Oh no, he doesn't. No, nothing suspicious. He's just wearing standard clothes you would expect, like a tunic for a ranger. He's like, well, he had a bow and arrow, like what you would expect a ranger would be kind of decked out in. But his behavior just looks really sloppy.
Okay.
Hmm. Basic lesson.
So
Actually, do we have a name for the barkeep?
I can give her a name. I don't have a name for her, but I can certainly give her one. Bella sounds
Give her a
nice.
name.
Bella sounds nice.
Bella. Okay, perfect. Don't kill her yet. She sounds nice for us.
I have no reason to kill her. She's a
Um,
she's an NPC in your town. But the werewolf might. I don't know. I can't predict that. I can't control this werewolf, man. He's got a mind of his own.
um, I've been kind of sidetracked. I fired up Path Builder, and it says my familiar. I can enhance it, which I haven't done.
Oh
So I'm
yeah,
gonna.
so every day
I,
when you prepare spells and whatnot, you can give your familiar up to 3 familiar traits, and you have a
it says
huge
ability.
amount. Yeah, you have a
Yeah.
huge amount of things to choose from. Like you can have your familiars talk. You can have your give your
Okay.
familiar like short-term flight and all these things. But your
Yes.
familiar, I assume, already has like a long-term flight ability because your
Yeah.
familiar's an
I
owl.
was hoping to add stealth, but all it says is you can select 4 familiar or master abilities. Oh wait, I've already got 4. I've got master abilities. Okay, forget it.
Yeah,
It's just a.
whatever familiar you have, even if your familiar naturally is a bird, you still have to assign the flight to it.
Yeah, I've got flyer. I've
Yeah,
got flyer, dark vision, share senses,
yeah.
partner in crime. Yeah, I got all. Okay, that's cool. I just wasn't sure where if I could get the stealth skill, because then it could be helpful for us right now.
Well,
I didn't want.
you can change the familiar skills every day. So like the next day you can be like, okay, my owl today won't be flying, but now my owl can have stealth or my owl can talk for today. Right, you can do that.
All right. Well,
Yeah, just like your spell list, you can change that familiar
yeah,
ability day by day.
yeah, that's cool. Okay.
okay, so what did you guys want to do? It's not time. I don't know if you guys want to rest, or we could go maybe interview Tomas if you guys agree with me on that lead. I think we should at least interview him, see if he knew about Brevin. Um, or we could stay here, stay the night, go to King's Day night, and come back, and Scarlet does a platform thing to watch Gregory. But I think
Yeah.
the sooner we
Well,
do the Tom, I think
yeah,
it'd be better to do Tom
you
but than
you don't
later.
have to stay at the inn. I mean, you guys have your own quarters in the castle, which is much nicer
Mhm.
than an inn room.
Yeah.
Except at the end, we're close to sort of where more the heart of the action of the town.
Oh
But
yeah,
actually, I need to be in the inn because I put it. Remember, I posted that note just in case somebody wanted to come to
Right.
the inn.
Yeah. I think
So
I'm going to
I'll
stay
say
in the inn
to
too. Yeah.
yeah.
Good idea.
Well, the inn is the bar, so it's here. We're at this place.
Yeah. I'm going to get a room at the inn.
you don't
And
have to
maybe,
pay for rooms at the inn because
okay.
you guys are the authorities here. So it's just
Do we
part of
get
an investigate. You get
free extras
free room and board while you're in the town that you
but no
control.
additional perks? Like I could think of some, I wouldn't say them, but I could think of some perks I might. But I mean, yeah, we can't get those. We just get room and
Oh
board.
no no! See, if you did kingdom building, you can build like a brothel for yourself if
I
you
don't.
wanted
I
to.
wasn't gonna say that.
Oh, I don't know what you meant.
Um, that's cool. I think I'm wondering if, while I sleep, can I let my Jaco sort of observe the bar? Because he's
Sure,
a shadow owl and he's pretty hard to see, even though he doesn't have stealth right now. He has high perception. He will
sure.
watch.
You can have him hang out in the bar.
Okay, but up at the ceiling, like up in the rafters where no one's going to notice him.
Yeah, that's fine.
All
You can. So
right.
so you spend the night. You guys because it's part of the investigation. You guys spend the night there. Overnight, nothing much happens, obviously, because it's nighttime at the inn. The bartender eventually closes up, and not absolutely nothing happens all night long. Sometime like in the early hours of dawn, that drunk ranger stumbles in. He's got like a beaver pelt. He's got one, and he looks very disappointed and with a horrible hangover. And he just stumbles into his room and falls asleep. And then after that, now it's daytime, and in the morning time, a couple of the indwellers wake up. They go down and start having breakfast, and you guys wake up.
Okay. I do my daily preparations and I'll make my familiar change that it can heal me because I don't really need it and I've been not been using it and add speech to my familiar so it can understand and speak any language that I know.
Good idea. Yeah. And I'll tell Jaco to keep up in the rafters because I'm sure even in the day it's pretty shadowy up there, right?
Yeah.
Or is it? Okay.
So you guys want to wait until the kind of regular tavern people come in?
I think so. I mean, it doesn't seem like we've got any other leads right now. Might as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we can drink ale for breakfast and brunch and lunch. That works.
So you wait a couple of hours until it's it's early afternoon, and there's a lot of regular kind of tavern goers coming in. And eventually, well, as the tavern starts filling up, there's a lot of hustle and bustle, and people start talking, and you can hear all they're talking about are these murders. This is pretty much what's on everyone's mind, and all your citizens are talking about these murders out of complete fear, and they're saying, Do you think Gregory is right? You think that our leaders are they don't care at all about us? Maybe that's what all they're doing is just trying to just use all the money for their own selfish purposes. And then and then there's some citizens are like, I'm not so sure, that this I was when I first moved here, it seems like this is a very good place to settle in. He says, I didn't think that the rulers were taking advantage of us. So you see, there's a lot of debate like that going on, and then about half an hour later, a man looking like this walks in.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
this is Gregory. He is very well dressed. He's got these. This is very fine Pitaxian wear. So he clearly just demonstrates where he's from. And by the way, Pitax, the names of people from Pitax are kind of Italian sounding, like King Iaravelli and Grigori.
Okay.
Very Italian sounding names. So Grigori comes back in, and he comes in and he starts hobnobbing with all the guests. He goes from table to table, making friends, and he seems to be generally well liked. He's kind of he's very good at kind of talking to them and kind of egging them on, and pretending like he's listening to what they're saying, giving input. He's also seems to have some skills with the lute. So he picks up a lute, he sings some familiar songs, and people like him. People are throwing him coins. And then after about an hour or so of just kind of becoming friends with the guests, then he starts talking, and he starts saying some really interesting things. And as he's talking, you see more and more townsfolk start gathering around him.
Yeah.
And he starts. It's sort of like he's giving a speech. This is like a beer hall kind of speech, and he says, "Now, what kind of leaders? What kind of serious rulers of a land would name it at something like Fellhaven?" He says, if you want your nation to succeed, why would you give it such a foul name, if not some sort of dark, cryptic, demonic trap that needs bodies? And he's like he doesn't say it directly, but he says it in a way. He's like, what if these are demonic people trying to lure living people into their land so they can turn them into an army of the undead? Have you thought of that? He's like, I'm just suggesting. I don't have any proof, of course. And this is the way he kind of starts putting these ideas into people's minds. You don't detect that he's using any sort of spells or magic. He doesn't seem to be doing that. He just seems to be just a very sneaky guy planting ideas in people's heads while there's a big tragedy going on. He says, there's the neighboring country of Pitax would never stand for these kinds of lawlessness, this brutal murder. He says, but how do he says, what if you suppose that maybe not only do the leadership of this place, not only do they not care that the citizens are being killed, but what if they are actively participants of it? What if this is a herald of what's to come in a nation called Fellhaven? And he says the word Fellhaven like a jab, like a dagger.
Well, he's kind of got a point about the name, but that's
So all the citizens are kind of looking around. They're whispering because they're simple folk. They're not they're not very well educated. And all of a sudden, this kind of like good, well perfumed man comes in, and he's kind of bringing up ideas. And he seems very friendly. He knows all the local folk songs. They do like him, and they're starting to sort of question. They start to question, this new nation that they've become a part of. They're like, we escaped the world wound. We escaped demonic forces just to come here where we would be safe, and now we may once again be threatened by some horrible demonic force. He says, what are we to do? He says, well, he says, for certain citizens of high merit, there's always, if you're willing to travel, you can come to Pitax and settle there.
yeah.
So this guy
Um,
clearly he's a snake, political snake.
Jaco's perch high in the rafters. Can Jaco see if he has any sort of pouches or sort of satchels that might contain papers on them?
Sure, he does. He's got a pouch slung around his waist, a very fancy jeweled pouch. This guy loves to flaunt his wealth.
Does it look like he has any papers hanging out of it?
Nothing hanging out of it, but
No.
clearly this is his money and jewel pouch.
Okay. But he wouldn't have something that might have documents in it or anything like that.
Nothing that you can see.
Okay. Cool. Because
So
I'm sharing the census with my
so
shadow owl.
so this just continues, and the more this guy talks, the more townsfolk gather to listen to him, and the town and word starts spreading around that this guy is, kind of giving speeches questioning the authority of the town, and more people come around to gather. The barkeep, Bella, she looks very apprehensive because she kind of recognizes what this guy's doing.
Hmm. Well, maybe we need to step in soon and set him straight.
The thing is that I would have loved for a bard to come and do it, but I think Lindsay is too not. Everybody would know Lindsay.
Yeah,
Well,
she's
of course, everybody would know Lindsay. Uh, so then all the people of the so one person in the audience kind of asked Grigori. He's like, "Hey, Grigori, I mean, what you're saying is making a lot of sense to me. I'm scared out of my wits' end, and I have three young kids." And I worry about them every day when I go out and have to herd my sheep, and I'm worried about, they're just going to get murdered in their beds at night. He says, why can't, why don't we just go in and just go to the castle and ask the king himself and ask for an answer to this? And then Grigori says, well, of course that's something we can do, but we don't, you don't want to be considered rebellious because sometimes in kingdoms ruled by authoritarian governments, despotisms such as this, when they see rebellion, they will crush it. For instance, if they were to find me, I can guarantee you they'll probably imprison me just for saying these things. And he's kind of planting into the minds of these citizens that you guys are going to just repress what he has to say. And then
Okay,
and
so
then all the people around are like, "Oh no, we would stand up for." He's like, "No, no, I wouldn't want you to sacrifice your own lives just to save me. I'm just a concerned traveler. I just want to reveal the truth of it all."
See, I was considering trying to pickpocket him in the idea that he might have things that would expose him, but it doesn't sound like he does. It sounds like he's just some pickaxe, whatever,
Cataxian.
Pitaxian prick who's dressed as a dandy coming in and talking smack talk.
But you see the danger he's causing to your
Mm-hmm.
nation.
Yeah, but
He is succeeding because he's taking because of what's going on with these murders. The citizens are listening to him.
once he's
I
out,
think
out of the inn, we can convince the patrons otherwise. With, go
I
ahead,
mean
sorry.
I think
So
we should
uh,
like
uh,
start.
Grigori now activates a quest. Now that you listen to his speech, you have a
Oh,
quest to Grigor.
okay.
The Rabble Rouser is the name of the quest.
Charlotte, what were you going to say?
Oh no, let John finish and I can
Oh
choose.
no, go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say that maybe it was better maybe to when he started saying all that we can like I can say that you guys I think this is starting to sound very rebellious and all that. I think we should put the people at ease before he gives a very bad picture of us. Maybe we can say, "Don't worry, citizens," or something like that.
Well,
We are investigating.
how do you want to address the
Yeah, I agree.
citizens? Do you want to go into the room where this guy's giving the speech?
I think after he's gone, I think Well, I don't know.
So,
It might be.
well, the question is, do you want to confront him right now, or do you still want to kind of wait it out?
I think we should wait and let him go because he might say other things that are even more interesting and more potentially incriminating to him. I mean, if he,
Another thing is we need to consider is like how we're gonna reassure them, saying, "Oh, we're gonna," like we could say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go and get this murderer," but like we have to be really convincing of that. Are any of you guys like good at persuasion or?
No,
pretty
the
good at
one that's
diplomacy.
good at persuasion is not here, which is our king.
No, I'm pretty good at diplomacy. Nag
Yeah.
has an A. But what I would say is that we could tell them about. They've already heard about werewolves attacks and they're freaked out. We can tell them about our experience. You know, like we're investigating this. We have very, very skilled and knowledgeable people that are getting to the bottom of it. We're not sitting on our laurels. We're not,
Sure,
coasting
sure.
along.
So,
We could
so
do,
what you
yeah,
want to do is you want to wait until he leaves, and then
yeah,
go out and make your own case to the citizens.
yeah. I think
Okay.
so. I think.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
That's
know. What
that's
does
fine.
everyone else think? What does
But
everyone
I
else?
think we should not mention werewolf. I think that will scare them just hearing
Okay,
that.
but they may want to know why we know what we do know, and the reason is we don't have to mention where. We can mention that we've been on the site of a very, very fierce attack. Um, we don't know what the animal was, but we're investigating it. We're following leads. We're trying to make the kingdom safe from these sort of things. That's what I'm thinking of.
I think that's wonderful, and we can also add that anyone that cooperates with us. John, what is the basic how do you say it money wise? How is the basic for people that gives a rumor?
Oh, rewards
Yeah, thank
for
you. That's the
information.
word.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
What's the common gold price you would pay for a reward in a town like this? Do we know what's reasonable?
Um.
For hearing any information about the case.
For just for citizens, a couple of silver would be enough. Yeah, that would be a reason. If a couple of silver is already a decent amount of gold for information. But if you want to make it a big reward, you make it like 10 gold. That's a lot of money for regular citizens.
Okay. Well, we'll just keep. I'm gonna keep sharing the senses of Jaco while he's still there talking, listening to what Jaco hears and sees.
So,
I'm
So
not.
maybe what
you wait until the late afternoon, and by then, a lot of the citizens have cleared out, and Grigori kind of, he's finished his speech. He has his last drink, and he himself heads off. There are still a couple
And
of citizens around, kind of late bloomers. Some of them are drunk. They've been sitting there for a while.
John, before we continue, weren't you going to tell us about the quest?
Yeah, the quest is deal with Grigori. That's pretty much it.
okay.
I put it in your quest log just as a reminder. I mean, deal with him. It's open to you on how you want to deal with him, of course.
Is that Shaggy? Has that Shaggy Ranger come out of his room, or is he still in there?
He's probably still in there. You haven't seen him.
Okay. I might want to use my thievery to get in there and stealth around and
Oh,
investigate it.
okay. He's uh,
But
he's he's probably still in his room if you wanna thievery the
should we
door.
do that? Should I do that before we doing the speech in the bar, or should we do the speech in the bar first?
I think we should fast handle the scare because people are still
Okay.
there. Once they leave
Okay.
the bar, that's another whole warm.
Yeah, I want to definitely go into that just because I can probably pull it off. All right, I'm going to get up. So, Scarlet and Talos, are you going to circulate around and do you want to speak, or do you want to
Uh,
circulate around picking up information and showing that you got silver coins or something?
I give you like 40 silver pieces that you can use for rewarding people. you can go ahead and say how much you want to distribute to them.
Yeah,
But I give you
okay, I'll
40
flash them.
back.
Cool. So I'm going to get up on the table and I say, citizen, and John, our
Oh
rule
well,
is
well,
we're
well.
on the
The
king.
minute you guys, the you guys go back down into the main room.
Yeah, go
Of course,
silent.
everybody just goes silent because they see you again and they know you're the authority. So they're not talking the same way when Grigori's around, and they just all pay you your due respect. But they clearly very apprehensive and very try to remain quiet. They don't want to be pulling attention to themselves because now they're scared of you because of what Grigori's been saying to them.
Right, right. So they go quiet. So I'm going to stand up on a table. Now, we're on the king's council, right? Is that what we're on? Like, that's our rules in the kingdom?
Yeah, so there's the king, and then there's the council, which is you guys.
Okay, okay.
So without kingdom rules, we don't worry about the roles of the councils.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
you guys
that's
are
okay.
clearly high authority.
Okay, so I'm going to say, I get up on the table and I'm holding my palms upward, and they got all these silver coins in them. And I'm saying, citizens, citizens, may I have your attention? You may
Everybody,
know that.
okay,
Yeah,
everybody clearly just turns their head to you with all these silver coins you're holding in your hand.
I'm making sure they're jingling without dropping them. It's not easy, but I'm doing it. I say to them, you may know us, me, and my friends here as people that are on the King's Council. And I say, now I know you have been hearing the words of this man, this fancy dressed man who's wandering in here by the name of Grigori. And I want to assure you all that we are not at all what he is suggesting. We are not trying to turn this into a kingdom of the dead. We only mean well. And I wish to assure you that we have been out in the wilds all over investigating these attacks by wild creatures. We have not been resting on our laurels. We only mean this kingdom the best. And we are willing to offer 2 silver to any of you that can provide us information that will help us in our investigation. We do have other experts working with us, some of the most talented people in the lands all around from afar. But your help will be great for us too. So please come forward, talk to any of us if you have any information, and stop listening to this Grigori. He is not telling the truth. He is
Um,
giving falsehood. All
you
right, I'll
can,
make a diploma.
yeah, give me your diplomacy. These townsfolk are not very difficult to roll diplomacy on.
All right, well, I'll try. Let's see. Well,
Uh,
that might do it.
that is a regular success, and of course you get everybody's attention. There are still a couple of townsfolk who are still remain quiet and looking down, but the majority of them are kind of looking at you, and they come up to you and they're open to kind of talking to you. And they're more than happy to take 2 silver, and you get 4 or 5 different townsfolk come at you with suggestions like sir, my lord. I have a neighbor, and at night there's always weird noises coming from his loft directly above me. He might be this. He might be the killer. I don't know. You didn't mention the werewolf, right?
Oh,
No.
no, definitely
Okay.
didn't.
Yeah. He says that he takes the two. He gives you directions of where his loft is, and then another guy comes. He's like, you know, my my mother-in-law. She always very nasty person, and I think she's got this killer glint in her eyes. I think she needs to be investigated. And she happily takes your 2 silver. And another guy comes in, and he says, "Yeah, there's a local merchant. He just overcharges me for all these these textiles, and and I saw in the back of his in the back of his shop, there's all these knives. He's got to be the killer." And you get 4 or 5 of these kinds of suggestions, these kinds of quote unquote leads, and they take your silver.
No, they're giving us nothing real legit. Nothing sounds terribly legit.
Well, you can't really tell. They said they sound
Yeah,
like these townsfolk complaining about people they don't like.
no, but the one in the loft sounds interesting.
Yeah, it does.
Um,
The first one.
can as they give these, can either of us roll perception to get an idea whether these are truthful?
Yes, it is sort of like insight rolls. I will accept insight rolls from, whoever wants to make them.
But we don't. Oh, okay. That's the activity, right? It's called in. Hold on. Let me go to.
No, yeah, it's perception and is the insight roll for Pathfinder. So it's the
Okay.
same
Okay.
idea.
Yeah. For some reason, on my activities list, perception has never shown up. It's weird.
It's in skill. You can roll it from skills.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know, but I mean, it'd be nice if it showed me what other possibilities there is with it. I'm gonna roll a perception. Oh, rolled off a 4. There's a better perception. 2, much better. Good. Good.
Okay, so we have Scarlet and we have Neg and Scarlet. Both of you. Scarlet, you
Not
rolled a
me.
critical success.
Almost. Yeah.
You rolled a critical success, and you don't hear anything from what these townsfolk that are describing. That seems to be a serious lead. You can't tell, obviously, anything could be true, but it sounds like these townsfolk are just telling you anything suspicious to get the 2 silver.
Okay, guys, I don't
Yeah,
Ooh.
think
that's
anything
with
of that.
a critical success. The regular successes, you think, well, it's hard to that these don't sound credible or specific enough for you to follow. But you can follow them if you want. If you want to go hang out at this Towerfall's loft at night.
Hmm. Maybe.
I mean, John, we're in the main city right now, and weren't the wolf attacks like out at the farms, like a couple tiles away? So odds are the wolf activity isn't so much here, but it's more going to be wherever or probably tiles away from the city.
Well, the place where the wolf attacked was within travel distance. You guys went there and back in a day.
Hmm. Yeah, there was a footpath or a cart track,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we could go back there. I definitely want to go to this ranger that looks like a werewolf. No, he doesn't. The mangy ranger, and open his door and first let Jaco fly in and making
Well,
sure that.
his door is locked, of course. I mean, this is
Yeah, I know. I try and
yeah,
unlock it. I got to try and unlock his door. I would do that. And
yeah.
then let Jaco in for Jaco to see, to scout, and then I would go in and search, just to make sure that he's not someone we need to be concerned
Well,
about.
thievery to unlock his door.
Yeah, okay. I think also I have this partner in crime. What is it for my familiar? Despite being your familiar gains a reaction at the start of its turns, which it can use only to aid you on a deception or thievery skill check. It still has to prepare to help you as a normal for the aid reaction. Okay, so somehow my Jaco can help me pick a door lock.
Sure.
How do I do that? Set up for Jaco to be aiding me. Does Jaco just make a roll or something?
He rolls just like you do, and it's like the aid action, the help action. If he depending on his level of success, he can give you a bonus to your roll.
Now he doesn't have a thievery skill right
So
now.
so he would have to be his stealth skill, and it's probably not that great. So he has a chance of
Doesn't
hindering if he critically fails it.
I think his stealth is supposed to be +5, but it's not showing up. Okay, I'm gonna roll stealth at 5 to help me with thievery. Here is his stealth. Forget it. He don't help me. He don't aid me.
But with an 8, he doesn't hinder you.
Yeah, okay, that's good. I'm gonna roll my thievery skill now. I'll still send him in there to use his share senses. Uh,
You clank on a door, but you don't screw up enough to break the door lock.
all right, I'm gonna spend my hero point. I really want to find out what this wolfman's about. No. Ranger. Is that enough to get?
That is exactly a success.
Oh, good. Okay,
Yeah.
I send Draco in to scout
Yeah,
his
so
room.
you want to find out if this wolf this grizzly guy is actually the werewolf or the DM throwing a red herring at you.
Yeah, that's right.
So you open the door and when you go inside, you kind of look
Well,
around.
Jacob goes in first. Jacob goes in first, so I can see through his eyes and ears
Okay,
because I have that ability.
I need Jaco to roll a perception.
Oh, okay. That's going to be a 8. It's about the same. Actually, it's the same as mine, isn't it? Is it? No, it's better than mine. Okay. Jaco, rolling perception. Oh, Jaco's being perceptive now.
That's actually not a success.
Really?
Nope.
22?
Nope. Because DCs vary depending on what you're looking for. So Jaco, but it's not. Even though you didn't roll a success, Jaco certainly kind of sees the whole room. I mean, the room is not very well kept. There are kind of empty ale mugs all over the place. This guy clearly has a problem with alcohol. When you look around, you see that there's a lot of kind of gear for skinning. There's a lot of kind of hunting weapons like arrows that he's been working on, some daggers. Nothing unexpected for a ranger or a hunter that makes a living off of pelts. There's a really kind of a foul smell because of the dry pelts in this room. And the smell even permeates into the hallway, which is another complaint of Bella. You look around and you see a ledger.
A ledger. Interesting.
So you have Jaco go in and start flipping through the ledger. I
Yeah,
guess
can Jacob do that with
I,
his talent?
I
Cool.
would think so. I mean, it doesn't
Okay,
seem like
cool.
it's too difficult. So he flips through the ledger, and most of it is just it's just a kind of a record of different pelts and different customers to be delivered to.
Nothing
Uh,
unexpected.
Well, when you look for most of them seem to be just normal kind of animals, like this many moose pelts to this customer, this many beaver pelts to this customer. However, in the at the in one thing really stands out as you look through the ledger. You see that there is a ledger that is asking for thylacine. But the ledger specifically said you see the quill pen specifically underlines thylacine must be caught alive.
Oh, this is the name of some of
Yeah,
thylacine.
thylacine is an animal. Well, it's more like a half animal, half monster beast. It's not a natural animal. So it says thylacine must be captured alive. Also, a tiger and a boar must be captured alive. And it says these animals must be delivered to a man named Eric in a
Interesting.
place called Hooktongue Slough. So this is very unusual for even for a ranger who specializes in pelts. To want to capture a live because a thylacine is not a pleasant animal. It's not animal that can be domesticated.
Interesting. A
It's a
thylacine.
dangerous beast.
Oh, where am I?
Well,
Oh, the king
the
has
castle.
awoken.
Good morning, everyone.
Hey, how's
Good
it going?
morning.
I just
Uh,
caught a thylacine. She's meowing.
Do we? It's not a common monster or creature, so I guess we wouldn't know what one looks like, right?
you would have to do a roll.
Oh, okay.
I
Can I throw a
Yeah.
nature check since I'm
Start
a
it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
will accept a nature check. I'll take that as a success. So this is what a thylacine looks like. They're nasty animals. They are considered monsters, not wildlife.
Are they from the island of Tasmania?
Pretty
Looks like
close.
it.
pretty close. But they're not. Hold on, they're not common around this area. They are kind of marsupials and carnivores, but there's some unnaturalness to them where they're monsters as opposed to just natural wildlife. Hold on, I got some notes on it. They're ferociously territorial and attack creatures without provocation. They're prone to leaving barely eaten carcasses strewn about. It's a nocturnal predator, typically hunts alone.
Can I get the
And
spark notes of what we are doing and where we're at?
oh
'Cause I
yeah,
think I missed last time too.
yeah. So that's okay because we're still on the same quest that you missed last time. We're still kind of progressing on that. Do we want
There's a
to? Maybe
werewolf.
we can take a break and then we can catch you up.
Okay.
As the party comes back and they explain what's going on. You know, there's this rabble rouser in town speaking ill, especially in a time of tragedy when there's all these murders going on.
Yeah, and look, you guys are all trusted party members. You either hold, you know, position in the court, let's say, or the government, right? Or you're an advisor, right? I mean, like, because truthfully, my character would obviously leverage all of your opinions and want us to make he would want us to make a group decision based off of,
Yeah.
all of the facts
So,
available.
so when the party
I,
comes back, you guys are holding court in the castle. You're sitting together in your big hall, and you're kind of discussing what to do.
and Pitax, the king is that Iravetti?
Yeah, that guy.
And he wanted us to choose someone or have him, I guess, to be a benefactor,
Yeah,
correct?
previously when you were setting up your
Previously.
nations, yeah, your nation's now set up. But while you were setting up your nations, it was an option available to you to have him as a benefactor. You of course turned it down, and you instead have the other guy, Lebeda, as your benefactor.
Yes. So, I personally think we shouldn't basically, you know, our goal is not just to like refute what he's saying, but and like it's not the bard that's an issue, right? It's not the allegations that's an issue. This isn't like a concerned citizen from the area. This is a hostile agent engaged in information warfare on our
Yeah, pretty
or
much.
like on our
Yeah,
territory,
pretty
right?
much. Pretty much.
So so
It's as a matter of fact, he actually during his speech, he actually suggested if you don't feel safe in this nation, Pitax's
yeah,
doors are
come here.
open to you.
So exactly. So I mean, in modern day, like the army has a job where it's called PSYOP, right?
Yeah.
Psychological operations, and their job will be doing this. They'll put out pamphlets, fuck with the radio signals.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
this is in war, right? This is in war, but
This is
and I guess military operations.
asymmetrical warfare.
Yeah.
That's what it
So
is.
so so I think it would be I think it would be smart that we do not wait on this, and we should address the citizens who are
Yeah.
swaying before their beliefs solidify. Um, and I think we should gather them in a public square, maybe a town hall or like the inn or something. Um, and I have an idea of what I'd want to say.
Sure. And of course, if you were in open hostilities with Pitax, your country stands no chance. Pitax is the most powerful nation in the region. So you have to know where you are in terms of your young country versus Pitax with its huge army.
Sure, but ultimately, this is a foreign agent, right? This is
Yeah,
someone that's subverting our rule here, and two, most places would see this as an act of aggression or warfare, especially if that person got caught. Typically, they do that from the shadows. This guy's not even trying to hide.
nope.
I mean, he's very blatant in his audacity, right? So, I mean, whether we do something about him, I think we should do that at a later time, not immediately. And I think that should probably be done with tact and not,
Yeah,
like that's kind of like unless facts prove necessary, like he's the werewolf or some shit. It should be done probably towards the end or after we figure this out. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
he even said, "Oh, you'll arrest us." Well, I mean, realistically, the first thing came to my mind is if I did this in Pedax, I'd probably be executed. So, I mean,
No, so this guy, he is sowing the seeds of discontent,
Discord.
of
yeah,
heresy.
Of unrest.
and yeah, and also obviously we're not putting kingdom rules, but if we were, your unrest numbers would go up every single cycle with this guy around. So that's
I
how
don't know if
bad he
this is an
is.
accurate depiction, but I view Gunthar as Rogel Dorn from Warhammer, right? And I'm like the Imperial, right? The God Emperor.
Your name comes from one of the primarchs of Warhammer.
One of the legionaries, yeah,
Yeah,
in the it's the chief librarian of the Thousand Sons who fall under Magnus the Red. But yes, I think that's funny because I'm pretty sure we could probably pair each person with a character from that just off of like who they are and
yeah,
how they act. Like Gunthar definitely gives a righteous vibe, but also like a stalwart defender.
yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think unless you guys have any issues, I think it might be beneficial to gather them. And I
Sure.
can make a announcement.
So it's up to you what you want, which problem you want to deal with. These both of these are problems. These werewolf killings as well as this rabble rouser.
And who other than me would be a good charismatic character? I need to know this.
Neck is pretty charismatic.
Yeah,
Neg, would you be willing to, and maybe we can get some of the loyal citizens to help with this, but would you be willing to be in the crowd and basically, it doesn't have to be
Like a
like
type of
at this
aid?
exact, it doesn't have
Like
to
I
be like
wrote
when I say this
Well,
exact
the
word,
problem is
but
Neg has to be in disguise because everybody knows who the council is and who the
yeah.
king is.
yeah. Well, what I was thinking is maybe we can get somebody that is on our side to actually be in the crowd. And also, when I say something that really strikes, and like John, if it was an NPC, something that stands out to you, I'd be like, for example, like I say a certain word or a phrase, that person would be like, yeah, or like
Oh,
exactly, or like,
yeah,
yeah,
your own counter propaganda.
exactly.
I
Like
know what you're
just to
saying.
hype the crowd up
Yeah,
because
exactly. A
that's a
hype
real
man.
thing. People will be planted in the crowds and they'll start going and being like supporting a speech or something like that. And I think that would probably be helpful. Maybe it could give me a couple points on a a diplomacy check.
No.
I think
I
you.
think that's a fantastic idea.
I think you
So
need to. You would have to, yeah, definitely get citizens other than us. Because when I made my speech in the bar earlier, I mean,
They
I
all
literally stood
recognize you,
up on a
yeah.
table, and I did. I convinced them pretty well. It was a 23 charisma, a diplomacy roll, and yet half of the people there just sort of didn't weren't convinced. So something's got to be. I think pretty basically. I think you're going to have to credit diplomacy roll to do what you're doing,
yeah.
saying,
Well,
suggesting.
so who can we ask? Who can we leverage to do what I was just suggesting in the crowd? Because it's been a
Well,
minute, and I don't remember all the key NPCs that would be on our side here.
wait,
Well, there's
Airman,
the
do you have a
guys
we need
that.
spell
to
that Airman, do you have a spell that lets you disguise other people? Because if you do, you could just disguise Neg. Like a disguise self
Um,
spell.
If we can disguise, I don't really have a good disguise skill or spell, so I doubt that would work for me. What is disguise? It's deception, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a deception.
Oh, I'm pretty good at deception, actually. Um, the four patrons in the
It's
bar that
actually
took
an activity.
silver,
Disguise self is an activity.
right? As in terms of citizens, I don't know those four citizens that took 2 silvers that gave us bugger all. Maybe we can demand that they do it, or convince them to do it
well,
for a silver.
another way of getting things done, side of demands, is also buying things, right? Um, we could offer them a better lifestyle. a higher degree of like living in a sense, right? Or a one-time payment,
Mm.
if you will, or help them with a problem that they might have.
$2,000, 2,000 copper tax break, 2,000
Yeah,
copper refund for everyone.
they won't have to pay taxes for the rest of the year. I mean, what's 3 people not paying taxes? John's gonna be like, well, these 3 people this is the merchant, this is the like the main people. I'm like, yo,
Yeah,
whoa, whoa,
Yeah, this is the Elon Musk of your of the
yeah,
merchant.
right. They probably don't pay taxes already.
That's true. That's true.
well,
But yeah, I mean, I think maybe we could talk to some of them. Could we do that first, John?
Sure. The people that took silver from you to give you clues about the werewolf, you call them back, and they are willing to do as you say. They will hype the crowd if you give a speech. For a couple more silver, they'll be happy to do that.
Okay, we'll give a couple more silver.
Okay.
So then, at that point, where would be the best place to gather
Oh,
crowd?
the town square, of course. Right outside the castle, there's a huge town square. It's got the ancient fountain is not running right now, but the right in front of the ancient fountain is a big gathering place where you can have a public announcement. And as if you're going to say there's an announcement of all the townsfolk are going to gather, I mean they definitely would.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I'll push that out. Maybe get the local crier and some other people to like do their thing and essentially gather everyone and meet at the square at a certain time.
Okay. So you guys, so all of you gather in a town later that day, and you make the announcement that you want to speak to the public, and everybody that is available shows up, including Gregory. He's sitting there in a crowd, and he's not kind of making himself conspicuous right now, although you can clearly tell who he is. He's a very well-dressed Pataxian guy, well, with jewels on his fingers and whatnot.
Can you show it
All right.
to Armit? I don't. He wasn't here when you show us the picture.
oh, the
That's
picture. Yeah.
Gregory.
Yeah, he's got to go. No, I'm playing.
So he just shows up, and he is not being conspicuous right now. He's among the people listening to the crowd, and everybody's intently kind of looking at you. People look kind of they got these scared looks on their faces because recently it's everybody knows by now. Rumors have spread really fast. There's been a couple of brutal murders going on.
Okay. Whenever you're ready for me to go, John.
I'm ready for you to go.
All right.
You're the king. We're listening to
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Greetings, citizens. I understand that we are in a turbulent time right now. There's a beast that stalks our very own backyard. There's already been one fatality, which has been truly terrible. And we hope to prevent this. However, it has come to my attention that there is a man here who is spreading fear among all of you.
Everybody just
Rest of
kind of
you.
turns their head to look at Gordon. They know what you're talking about.
I ask you, think, he is not one of you, but a bard from our rival, Pitax, a rival we have not chosen, a rival we did not ask for, a rival that chose to do this when we decided not to choose them as a benefactor and chose to be free from the chains of another oppressor, such as the Stag Lord, whom we've disposed of not too long ago. I hope you all remember that. Realize what a terrible time it was to be under the yoke of someone as terrible as him. His story is
One of your guys you plant in the crowd says, Hail King Aramen! Conqueror of the Stag Lord! He claps, but a couple of people join him, but that's about it.
I continue and I say, his story is a poison meant to make you fear the very leaders who saved this town with you. He accuses us of attempting to create undead armies with no proof, while a very real werewolf stalks our streets, a convenient distraction from the true threat. This is not the act of a concerned citizen. No, 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 no. But of a spy sent by King Aravetti, meant to sow the seeds of heresy to weaken us from the inside. We will not fall for his fear. You are all strong people. You were strong before him. You were strong before the Stag Lord, and you and your descendants will be strong 100 years from now. We will stand together against our enemies, both seen and unseen.
So it's your call. Does he have the forum to speak in reply to what you said or not right now?
If he chooses to stand up and start speaking,
Well, is this allowed? Because he won't break the rules of your nation technically, because he's not going to do something technically illegal.
well, John, he already is doing something.
No, no, he's doing something, but it's kind of like in the gray zone. He won't. If he's not allowed
Well,
to
that's going to
speak,
get outlawed
yeah,
real quick.
yeah,
Foreign citizens not that's the next law
yeah.
that's going to get passed.
Yeah, so
um,
if he's not allowed to speak, he wouldn't. But if he
yeah,
is allowed to,
he can speak.
yeah, okay, so if he's allowed to reply to that, he says, my good king, you wound me with your accusations, and you can see everybody turns to him. You may roll your diplomacy with a +2 circumstance. You get +1 for good role playing, and a +1 for that dude you planted in the crowd cheering you on. And this is a skill challenge.
Why isn't that?
Ooh, even though you gave a very
Is
powerful speech,
let me use a hero point.
go ahead.
Use it, please.
Well, this is a skill challenge. It's like a multi-role skill challenge kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess I'll go with the
Oh
15. What the hell is going on?
no, you
Roll like I do. That's a neg roll.
the hero point is
Oh,
you
that's
have.
it. Okay, well, it is what it is, I guess. I
So
didn't
what?
realize that.
So even though you gave a
Oh,
even though you gave a fantastic speech, unbeknownst to you, this guy has been cavorting with a lot of the citizens, helping them out, helping their sick mothers out, giving his a little bit of gold, playing songs of their homeland. He's been ingratiating himself a lot with the citizens. And he says, "My lord, you wound me with your false accusations. I hail from the great nation of Pitax, but I do not represent the king of Pictax or its government. I am simply a concerned traveler, an interested third party. I hold no allegiance to anyone but myself." And he smiles when he says this, only so you can see it, because he wants you to know that he's, he's kind of at war with you. And he turns to the citizens. He says, "I do indeed." He says, "Perhaps you do have good intentions in terms of running your kingdom, but you can't." She's like, "You cannot argue that these crimes are horrific, and what is being done about them? What? Do you have any idea who is the perpetrator? Do you have any idea who could have done such a thing? In Pitax, within 2 hours, we would have had at least one suspect. Do you have any suspects?" He's like, I do not think that the people who are in charge of these heinous crimes are doing anything or even care about the poor citizens. And he goes on like this, and you can see there's people in the crowd that are kind of getting swayed by what he's saying. Doesn't seem like he's using any magic to do it. He's just somebody who's a big snake. Uh,
yeah, I'm gonna say you speak of allegiance to no one but yourself. However, you stand here, a citizen of a rival nation, sowing dissent in my country. You cleverly deflect from your own suspicious presence by demanding answers. So let me give them. My plans are my kingdom's business, not a foreigner's entertainment, nor are the lives that are at stake here. But since you asked so pointedly, perhaps you should start answering questions yourself. What were you doing near the location of on the night of the last murder? Your sudden appearance and convenient accusations are truly troubling, indeed.
He says, "Ha ha! Are you trying to accuse me?" He says, "I would have you know, my good king." He says, "I have multiple contacts and alibis for that night." He says, and he points to one of the other citizens. He says, Lisbon, my good friend, were we not together drinking fine wines and reminiscing about the good vintages of 4736 all night long during the night of these murders? He says, you would accuse me because you wish to persecute me, put me in prison, because anybody who disagrees with your authority deserves to be in prison. And he says these poisonous words, and a bunch of citizens just kind of, you can see their faces grow grim. They would never speak out openly, but you can tell that there's a couple of people being convinced. I would like anybody else in the party, this is a skill challenge. If you want to use any skill you can think of to participate to help out your king, who has rolled that one.
All right. Well, I would shout out, listen to your king. He's speaking the truth and nothing but. Do not listen to this Pixaxian scoundrel, and I'll roll a diplomacy.
And then another one of the people you planted in audience, yells out. He's like, "He's a good king. He's a good king." So you get a +1 on your roll.
Oh, did we? Oh, that was
Ooh.
17 there. Probably not good.
The DC for these rolls is 19. You guys are
19.
yeah.
Jesus, John, we're level 4.
That is a level 4 DC.
Yeah, I know.
That's why you gotta you gotta be making use your the high skills. Is there anybody? So with the critical fail you had, that is -1 on your conglomerate rolls. They call them support points, or skill challenge
Yeah,
points.
yeah,
So a regular failure is not a negative anything.
Mhm.
Success
Okay.
is a +1, critical success a +2. Obviously, I'm not telling you what number you need to succeed in this challenge. Does anybody else want to chime in? You don't have to speak. If you have a creative idea of what you want to do to support your king.
I'm looking what skill I can use. Um,
You have you got this is all about your creativity. If you can convince me how you can use nature, I'll take it.
yeah, I was trying to think of a way I can use medicine. Okay, so I will stand up and say with medicine, the bodies while there were, I give a brief explanation of how we found the bodies, on how we are trying to examine it, give you reassuring to finding out uh what type of creature we're missing. We're not leaving our citizens alone. We're giving
Okay.
all we can to the
So
citizens.
you're using your medicine to say that we have examined these bodies and we are working hard and putting an effort into solving these murders, and then you get another one of those people you planted in the crowd. They're saying, "You see, the king is good. He's doing everything in his power to solve these murders." That's a +1 to your roll. You got
Okay,
these hype
perfect.
men in the audience giving you a +1.
And don't
Okay,
we
and
have
with my
guidance,
gloves,
Meg?
it's
You can also do guidance. Is you can use your action to help somebody else's action. That's what guidance is. That's
Mm.
the help action. You can do that too. Go ahead and
okay.
roll
So
it. Roll the
I'm
medicine.
going to roll. Uh, just so you know, I added one extra.
Sure.
when you see it. It's
And
because I have medicine gloves, and that gives me +1 in medicate in
sure. And
medicine.
the DC is 19 for these checks.
Okay. Oh, let's go.
Holy
Fuck.
shit.
Ooh. Okay.
A 2. Can you imagine if you got, like, I don't know, a 4?
That cannot be it. That. Oh my god.
This is just terrible rolls all night now.
Okay.
Pick one and then.
So we now we go
No.
to Gunthar and Talos. Do you guys have anything you would like? You don't have to, but would you like to participate and try to help out your king? You guys are kind of not doing well right now.
Okay. So I want to try using society.
Okay.
So what nation has not had miscreants, murderers, criminals in their ranks? Every nation must endure. No place is immune. I know a lot of you have come from Mendev, where they see much worse demons. We have one simple case that is nothing nearly as bad as all these other nations have. Even Pictax, this nation seen as the virtue of law, is still plagued by murders, cheats
Actually,
cheats and
Pitax is
liars.
not really known as the. As a matter of fact, before King Irevelli took the throne, Pitax was a really corrupt place run by trade lords. So it's not known as it's not, and it's pretty much ruled up in the Iron Fist of King Irevelli.
Oh, but surely, oh gracious DM, that is proof that it takes time and it was not a change overnight.
Sure, sure.
Thank you for adding to, Specialist Talos's oratory ability or whatever he's rolling.
Sure, sure. And Talos, you got another hype man in the crowd says, this guy says all this horrible stuff about our new nation. Look at his nation. His nation is ruled by a dictator, and before that they were just criminals.
Oh,
Oh,
Yes,
Talos with the win.
Alice, we love you.
that's a
That
2.
Okay, so that's a critical success, and when Talos brings up, when Talos kind of brings up his reasoning, you see a lot of citizens kind of turn their head, and start nodding, like, yeah, that makes sense, that makes sense. So you went from -1 up to +1.
No. Oh, that's good.
Does anybody else? This is actually only a 2-round thing, and this is this will continue later. Does anybody else want to add anything? Gunthar, do you have anything you want to add?
My skill set doesn't run that way. I don't have any kind of persuasive anything.
You
The
can
only
you
thing I
can
would
you can roll athletics and smash something. I don't know if you can think of a
yeah, that's
way.
probably counterproductive. The only
Try
thing I can do is
acrobatics.
I'm going to suggest to the rest of our council that we take some representatives and show them that we don't have people locked up for speaking.
Actually, yeah, we have had no one arrested. This is all, like, false completely. Like, there's literally no track record of us doing this at all.
Oh no, he was accusing you of doing that if he were to piss you off. That's what he's saying. He
Yeah,
didn't
but
he didn't say you
that's what
already
I'm
had.
saying.
He
No,
said
but
you would.
that's what Gunthar's saying.
Yeah.
There's nothing to back that up. We have no track
A-
record of that. So
Actually,
that's
what Gunthar
baseless.
said is true. What
And
Gunthar said is true and logical.
and if we were going to do that, Grigori would already be in jail.
You know what? Jubilost is right next to you, Gunthar, and because you suggested it, I will roll with what you said with Jubilost's stats.
Go, Jubilo. Help us.
Yeah, you mentioned this to Jubilost, and Jubilost says, Gunthar, that is actually a very, very good point. Very logical. So Jubilost stands up to the crowd and he says, well, if you compare what our leader, our good king in this nation has done, versus the King Irevelia Pitax, who regularly imprisons and executes his political opponents, clearly this is a pot calling the kettle black. And Jubilost actually makes a lot of sense. Give a +2 to his diplomacy roll. Unfortunately, nobody knows. Jubilost himself looks like a stuck-up kind of dude, so nobody wants to listen to him. He's like a know-it-all kind of guy, even though what he says is correct.
Are there any halflings amongst this crowd?
Sure.
I would try. Yeah, I
Well,
would try and win
actually,
them over.
this is only this skill challenge itself is only 2 turns. So everybody got a chance to kind of. Oh, actually, you know what? The first turn I didn't give everybody else a chance, so I will give you I will do a second turn.
Yeah, I've only made one roll to
Yeah.
support.
Yeah, when you say that, I think we've only all made one roll. I only re-rolled
Yeah.
one with the hero point.
No,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right. I was under the impression there was this is a second turn. That was just the first turn. You get a second turn.
I would appeal to the halflings in the crowd. I'd shout out, "Look, you small folk like me, my halfling brother and sister, do you believe? Who do you believe? Do you know how we have struggled amongst all these kingdoms in this land? Who do you believe, a Pitaxian or a king that's fouled the stag lord that has made the areas around here? Listen to me, I'm a scion of the Six Sails Sailing Enterprise. I speak the truth, and so does my king. And I'll make a lore halfling roll.
I'll take
Can
it.
I get a bonus on
Uh,
it?
I'll t- uh, I will take it, and this dude you get another hype man in the crowd who happens to be a halfling. He says, listen to the halfling. Halflings for halflings. We stick together. And then he cheers, and all the other halflings cheer. You can get a +1 on your roll.
All right, I'll try this. Oh,
Oh, that is another critical success. The halflings make so much noise and they cheer and shout so loudly and so jubilantly that it starts convincing some of the humans. So that's two more success points. All right, this is our second round. What else does anybody want to add?
Okay, so with survival, I am going to say that we've been tracking this person or creature that has done these mutilations, and we will not stop until we find more clues.
Okay, so you kind of outline the steps that you're taking by
Yeah.
tracking this creature. Okay, you can use your survival, and you get another hype man in the crowd cheering you on and saying, "You see, they're more. Not only are they concerned about these murders, but they're very skilled, and they're going to eventually track this murderer down."
Okay.
There's a +1. You can roll with a +1.
yeah.
Yes,
Hey,
Oh, you're one short of a crit, but that is a success.
I'll take it, John. I'll take it
Okay,
after that too. I'm never
and
forgetting.
we
wait a
still.
minute. How did Talos get a 28 and it was a crit, but she didn't? Is it because he rolled a natural 20?
Talos didn't add the
Yeah.
what's it called? He didn't add the what's the +1.
Oh, right, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
It just still said critical success. That's why I was
That's because
confused.
the DC was set wrong.
Uh, okay.
No, the DC is always 19, so you have to get a 29 for a crit success.
Okay. But still good.
Okay, so we got your Majesty, Gunthar, and that's it. So you two, if you want to make any more attempts, remember if you crit fail, well, I start subtracting.
I think
Yeah, of
Talos has
course.
only rolled once, right? Talos has only rolled once as well.
Yeah, I only rolled
Yes.
once.
Yeah.
Oh, Talos, did you? Yeah, you can go too.
Talos.
Yeah, I'm just looking through my stuff, seeing exactly what I want to do.
Good thing we don't have Jathal for this one, huh?
Um, if you can find a creative way of making her helpful.
We should just kill him where he stands. Roll with a -2.
Jatha will roll her attack.
Yeah.
She'll roll her touch of the void on this guy.
Right here.
You could do crafting. You're crafting your web of truth.
You could impress the craftsman with your crafting.
Wait. During your initial speech, did you mention he was a werewolf?
I asked him where he was on the night of the murders, which he said, "Oh, I was drinking with you, so and so." And honestly, you could also bring up how, yeah, you were drinking all this alcohol. I wonder how easy it would be, someone, applying someone with alcohol and, messing with their memory, blah, blah, blah. Or maybe it wasn't him that was the werewolf, but maybe he knows. Maybe this is a joint operation. Maybe it's not related at all, but who knows? No one knows.
Okay, so nobody mentioned like that with the werewolf, so they don't know about that, right?
Know about what?
That the murderer was a werewolf.
You haven't
No.
disclosed to the public yet.
Okay.
I think that wouldn't help us if we disclose that.
No.
No,
Right now, it just looks like
but
there's an animal. He's saying that there's a murderer, but, I mean, everything we found had to be an animal. So, I mean, you could also say, how do you know there's a murderer? I mean, our chief, nature specialist just gave, spoke of the evidence, which all tracks to some sort of creature in the woods. How is this related to a murderer going around?
Okay.
I mean, it sounded like he was saying that we have a threat of somebody in here, and within an hour or two, I think he said like that would have been found and taken care of immediately.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. So, Gregor, you make claims that there's a murderer, but what humanoid person thing would ever just brutalize bodies like that? This is clearly the mark of some animals, of some type of animal beast or monstrosity. There was full bite marks, tearing of limbs. No person would do that.
So,
You're making false claims.
so as you start describing these murders, a lot of the townsfolk start looking sick.
Oh,
And
right.
Well, John, he wouldn't have said anything outside of what Scarlett already said.
Yeah.
She said she explained that already.
Yeah. So the townfolk are kind of like looking sick as as the murders are described, and then you get one of your hype men says, "Yeah, how do you know they're not animals?" And then Grigori retorts, "Sure, a vicious wolf or animal attack, perhaps once, but 2 times in a row on the same night, one in the middle of the road. That's well patrolled. It should be well patrolled if your patrols were competent." And he puts his hand on his chin. You may roll whichever you want, whatever you wanted to roll with a +1 with your hype man. Oh,
No.
I'm gonna use my hero points.
okay.
There you go.
Okay, that's just a bit, just exactly what you need for a success. All right, and we have anything from I think
Yeah,
who's left? You
I,
two,
I'll
Aramin and Gunthar.
I'll say this. I'll say actually, John, we would have patrols, right? So my question is, would I be able to, see the people in the crowd that would be the ones conducting said patrols?
Yeah, sure. You know, of course, you're aware of who found the, who initially found the.
Yeah,
There were two bodies. There were two bodies that were discovered by the patrols. One was the farmer girl, which the father found and brought to you,
yeah.
and then the second one, the patrol discovered the body of a gnome, one of the helpers of Jubilos,
Can
killed in the
give me a
same way.
name? Give me a name for the patrol, like whoever was on the
Luke,
patrol. Give me.
Luke was the guy who found the gnome's body.
Okay. I'll say this. Um, you know, it strikes me odd that you use our own citizens' word when you attack our very own citizens simultaneously. How is one's word meant to be something if they were deceived by your charm, Bard? But let's look at what you speak of now. Luke here, a proud citizen amongst us, someone who is effortless, with great effort, went out and found the last victim, even in the face of danger, put his life on the line. Luke has family. You are friends of Luke. Yet this outsider here wants to go and speak of his competency. Right now, you're accusing me and now our own people? I say to you, Grigori, what you're doing is wrong. You are playing our own people against each other. And this is not something a righteous person nor a good one would do. Especially someone who goes and spends coin to go and influence those. I tell you all, citizens, not one of you have been imprisoned here. Not one of you have been persecuted. If there is an issue that you need assistance with, please come to me. Speak to me or my representatives. There's not one time I've pushed anyone away or threatened any of you. I ask you to think about this and think about how you're being manipulated here.
And then your hype man jumps in and says, "The king has been so good to us. King has given us land. The king has given us food. The king has given us safety." He's like, "Yeah, this stranger doesn't know what he's talking about." You can get +1 to your roll for your hype man.
And I did, John. If as a last sentence the king said, "And I'm going to build a brothel," would that give another +2?
If you build a brothel,
Fascinating.
well, the thing is, it's gonna give a +4 to the men of the, of the kingdom and a -4 to the
Yeah,
women,
to the
so
women.
it'll kind of even out.
I was just
Okay, that is
very
another
nice
success. So
success.
that's very good. You need all those successes, definitely. Gunther, anything from you?
Actually, I need to double check something here because I should actually have a. What is it?
You may have some feats that could be helpful. I don't know. You got to tell me what feats you got.
Well, you're probably thinking you'd have an expertise. You might, but it usually auto assigns it. I noticed when you
Yeah.
level up.
There are specific things you can do, like AKA follow the expert. So if somebody is an expert in diplomacy, and you guys are doing a skill challenge like this, and somebody you don't have enough skill, you can say, "I'm going to follow the expert," and you use their role. You use their bonus instead of your own. If you look at that, but they have
Well,
to have expert proficiency in the skill.
does anyone have follow the expert? I mean, I don't have
No, no.
expertise, but
Anybody can do follow the expert. It's just in order to follow the expert, that person has to have expert proficiency.
an expert comes
Mm.
after trained, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So
and
right
old
now the
expert.
ones that did roles for
right now,
expert is survival and medicine. That's me.
yeah,
Yeah.
at level 4, it is possible to have expert diplomacy, etc. So if somebody wants to do follow the expert, you can do that, and what you do is you take their bonus instead of your own.
And Lindsay has expert in it. She's an expert in
Yeah.
diplomacy. But she's not here. Oh.
She could be here if you want. I mean, this is a big town meeting. Obviously, she
I
could she
think
would be.
we've won this anyways, haven't we?
Yeah.
Hey, John, I know I didn't coerce anyone, but I just have a quick question.
Yeah.
This right here, it says when you can strong arm people effectively even when you don't have them isolated. When you coerce, you can compare your intimidation check to the will DCs of up to 5 targets instead of 1. It is possible to get different degrees for each target, right? So my
Unfortunately,
question,
it can't really apply here because it's like, well, what's the will, DC of your general public?
probably very low, right?
Yeah, but it can't you can't use that feat in terms of the skill challenge. I don't see
Where
how
would
that
you
would make.
use it?
If you are, let's say you are kind of having a talk with some bandits or something like that, you want the bandits to leave.
Okay.
It would be like a simple kind of skill check kind of situation. This is more like a skill challenge. The problem is there's not, there's not. I can't provide what's specified in the group coercion to make it work. Because what am I going to set
Understood.
these specific will DCs and stuff? This has a universal DC of 19 for the skill challenge.
Yeah.
All right, so Gunthar, anything to add? I know you've been waiting patiently, and people talking over
I
you.
I would merely say that if our esteemed gentleman from Pitax is unhappy with our hospitality, I would be happy to escort him safely to the border.
Ooh, threaten him. Nice. Do you have intimidation?
I do not. It's not really a threat either. It's just an offer to escort him safely to the border with
Well,
the opportunity to get out.
well, depending on depending on how you put it, it could be a threat.
Could be, but I don't really have intimidation skills, so
Well, can you think of a different skill that you can possibly kind of argue that would apply?
What about puff up your chest, look menacing, and do
Oh
it
man.
athletics?
none of my skill set runs that way.
But you
I
have
have
athletics, don't you?
I have athletics, but I don't see how that would fit.
Well, like you said, if you demonstrate how strong you are, that could be a little bit intimidating. Because this
I
guy,
mean, you can.
he seems to be not really skilled in fighting or anything like that. This guy does not look like he's much of a martial challenge whatsoever.
All right, John, if you'll take that, I'll use it.
I will accept that because I want you to participate. Well,
Yes.
Oh yeah, there we
There you
go.
go. Worth
Yeah,
it.
so Gunther
right on.
flexes his muscles so hard his shirt rips. And then and he's kind of offering to escort this young gentleman out of the out of your nation entirely. And you got the hype man in there saying, "Oh my goodness, Gunthar! Wow, he's so strong with Gunthar. With Gunthar on the team, how could they not find a killer? And whoever it is, Gunthar will beat the crap out of him." Grigori is visibly intimidated by your muscles. Yeah, all his his fancy talk and stuff like that. When you show him your big bristling muscles and your huge sword, he starts sweating a little bit. And that is a critical success for 2, and you guys need all of those successes because right after you finish this conversation, there's a scream in the back of the in the back, and everybody turns around, and you see a big trail of blood flowing from down the street.
Let's
And
go.
the people start dispersing because people are panicking. So you guys run over, following this trail of blood, and you can see that there's a group of people huddled around what appears to be a body on the floor. Because this happened, you get -6 on your skill challenge. So good thing you
Jesus.
you gathered a lot. So right now
So we're at 3,
you are at 4.
4. Okay.
Okay, so I'm not telling you what how many you need to ultimately succeed, but if you had not gotten that much and you went into the red, you would have just failed this quest outright there. But luckily, you were able to weather this -6 because there was a murder in broad daylight in right next to town square while the king was giving a speech. The audacity of it, and there is a merchant on the ground. Barely, he was killed in the same way those poor farmers were, and that poor gnome was. Body ripped to shreds. And people are just panicking, running about. Nobody, nobody knows what's going on, and you see a group of people looking at the dead body because of the shock of actually witnessing this happen in the middle of your town. That was so horrible that that took a big chunk out of your successes. You look down on the ground. The body, you can't even recognize what this is a human or an elf or a man or a woman. The body is ripped to shreds. Does seem to be clothing of a merchant. And you look around. You ask what happened. What happened? There's too many people are just kind of panicking. Nobody knows what happened.
Well, clear out the area, and you know.
Yeah, you have your guards come over and clear everything out and surround the area so you guys can take a look at the crime scene.
Yeah,
Uh,
John, what the hell were the guards to begin with? What the hell? What is this town? Maybe this guy's right. I'm questioning the freaking competency here.
They're busy cheering us on.
No, because of all the hubbub and the noise, this thing happened with it. As far as you can tell, nobody knows, nobody's seen what happened. It's just
Is,
it appears that one of the local children was the one who discovered this body.
As we look at the
Is there?
body, well, I'm wondering if there's a trail of blood leading away in any direction. No.
No, not that you can see.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
Is there? Maybe someone can roll like a perception or something, and maybe they can see
Sure,
if
I will.
they
I will
notice
accept.
anything out of the crowd.
I'll accept the perception from all of you, if you like.
Right.
Can I
But it's
throw a medicine?
ultimately a job for Scarlet. I'm gonna roll. You know, yeah. We all roll, right, John? We all get to roll good.
So a 16, and then it fucking went to a 6.
I mean, Gunther do a critical
Ooh,
success.
28.
Gunther rolled a nat 20.
Oh,
Yes.
no, that nat 20 was from before, from
Oh,
the
I see. I see.
intimidation.
No, but you
but
also rolled an 18, which is
Yep.
yeah.
pretty good. That only Gunther sees.
All right, what does Gunthar see? What do you see, Gunthar? Tell us, quick.
John's got to tell me first.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm
We'll pass
reading
it
this
on.
because of the circumstance of the way it happened. I'm reading this and I'm gonna have to kind of adjust what happened because of the circumstance of what happened.
You're already changing things.
I'm not. Well, I have to because of the circumstance of
I
what happened.
know.
Gunther, you don't see any footprints, but what you see is that you look at this dead body. It appears to be some sort of merchant. Just by the clothing that's torn and shredded on the floor. But what you also see is that a couple of feet to the side, there is a boot. The boot is torn. And the boot clearly is not the same boot that this merchant was wearing. So you go over and you pick up this boot, and you've never seen a boot torn quite like this. It is just torn from just down the front. Look, it looks like it was torn from the inside out.
So, like something burst out of it.
Yeah, yeah. You notice right away that this is unusual because you've seen a lot of worn boots and things like that. This boot was torn from, and it's a fresh tear. You think this boot probably belonged to the werewolf, or
I
to the
will point this
human.
out. It doesn't match the boots on the corpse.
No, no. This is clearly because the shoes that the merchant who was murdered was wearing is clearly different than from this boot. So you think you found the boot of the killer, the werewolf that killed this guy.
Yeah, I'll point this out to
And on
everyone.
top of that, this is the middle of the afternoon, or
It's a true Lincoln.
this is like 5 p.m. or so. The sun is still out. This is not the full moon.
Is this just a generic boot, or is there any kind of decoration on it that might lead us to a matching boot somewhere?
The boot has a lot of dirt on it. The boot,
Nature.
yeah, there's nothing on the boot that's like identifying it or like an emblem or something. It's just a standard set of, of adventuring boots.
Does the dirt have any different from normal dirt? Like,
Uh,
is it
well, who's the expert
clay?
on dirt?
Me.
Yeah, you're the
Yeah.
expert on dirt.
Okay, so can I throw a nature or a survival for this?
I will accept both nature or survival, whichever one you'd like. Survival. So you identify when you kind of start brushing the dirt and kind of examining it, you notice that the dirt has particular types of moss on it. This moss doesn't grow where you guys live. It grows to the west.
What's to the west, John?
It grows with a 19. This is probably swamp marsh. So that's another clue.
Did you say gnarl marsh moss or
Yeah,
what?
Swamp marsh.
it's clearly swamp marsh, and there's no swamp marsh
Swamp
where
marsh,
you guys
okay.
live. Yeah.
Hey, John, I'd like to cast detect magic. I could do that at will with my arcane sense ability.
Uh-huh. You do not sense magic from the boot or even the murder scene.
Okay. Would that would that would I sense it from people in the area?
Yeah, but detect magic won't identify a werewolf.
Not a werewolf. I'm
Yeah.
just looking to see if there's any magic at play at all. I think that would be,
Sure.
a red flag.
I think this would call for an Arcana roll because it's
Uh,
kind of it would be a stretch, a bit of a stretch, but you can try it.
It says detect magic. I send out a pulse that registers the presence
Yeah,
of magic.
it's the magic is so faint that you need Arcana roll. It's because it is a stretch.
I would try an Arcana roll to learn something about it.
So close to a 20.
Yeah. You do not
Oh,
detect magic in the area.
I tried an Arcana and got a 20. Does
Did
it tell me?
did you cast detect magic?
I have detect magic.
You think you maybe have an inkling of maybe of a trail of magic, but it's not strong enough to really locate or pin
All
down.
right. Okay.
Okay, so while we were investigating, I would say that Valerie was around assuring the people because she's she has been
Yeah, she and the
in
guards
an
are doing their
order.
best to keep order because things are just people are panicking after that happened.
Hey
Grigori
John,
has slunk away into the darkness again. He's waiting. He like a snake. He's waiting in the grass to strike again.
He's such a bard. Oh, well, but not like Lindsay Bard.
Yeah,
hey John, can I find the kid that found the body?
sure.
I'm gonna
Uh,
walk up to him. I'm gonna.
The kid
I would
looks
want to
at you
walk.
with like blank stare because his brain does not know how to process what happened.
I'm gonna kneel down in front of him and put on my least strutting looking face I can. And I'm gonna be like, young one, I know what you saw was traumatic, but it's very important. Did you see anybody go towards this man before he died? Anybody leave right after he died?
Okay, so the little kid is he's like 4 years old, so he's kind of a limited understanding. You have to really be very good in maybe a good diplomacy, or if you can think of another skill that'll kind of calm this toddler down.
I have a weird question. How did elixir of life taste? Could they heal mental damage?
He's not damaged. He's just in shock.
Okay, so they want help with that. Okay,
I will aid him, and I would use my familiar to make cute little poses and things like that.
Oh, sure. Give me a performance to help the aid the role.
Okay, I have zero performance, but here we go.
Nope. You go ahead and make your
okay, okay,
roll on the little kid.
okay, John. I have a weird ask. So I don't know if this will work, but I have quick alchemy, so I can quickly make potions on the fly. Could I
Yeah.
make could I use that to make a sweet tasting drink to help calm him down?
Not unless you have the formula. You need to have the formula to make the alchemical potion.
Okay. Alright then I guess I'll just go with diplomacy.
Okay.
Oh.
That was an easy roll, so you succeeded. The little kid, he just points out to this to the city gates, uh, and he says, "Bear." He thinks it was a bear.
He thinks it
Okay.
is a bear. Hmm, so no wolf.
Well,
Or
he
a big
he
wolf.
he
The
thinks it's a bear.
four-year-old won't know.
He's a 4-year-old.
Yeah. Maybe it was our ranger leaving town.
Well, so he pointed to the city gates,
Yeah.
which are normally in the daytime they're open right now. Unfortunately, all the citizens were gathered to hear your speech, so it's hard. You can't find any witnesses right now besides that little
No,
kid.
Okay.
no, but what we can do is we can figure out who is missing, who is not here.
We have no guards posted at the city gate.
Well, that would be wild, John.
Mhm. Would my occultism tell me anything about the circumstances, John?
What do you mean?
Well, observing this area here, can I get a sense of anything with occultism? Whether there's something called aren't lycanthropes occultic?
I will
If
accept.
they
Yeah, I will accept. Yeah, in terms of knowledge checks for lycanthropy, I will accept the occultism. Sure.
okay, not that I'm trying to milk things, but
No,
I'm
no,
just trying.
I'll accept an occultism roll. Sure.
All right, I'm making occultism
Yeah,
roll.
but this will be like a knowledge type check. 23 is a success. Um, so nothing as far as you know that a lycanthrope would, in terms of a lycanthrope's ability, that
Okay,
would make sense on how they can pull off a murder like this in broad daylight with a lot of people. Like that's not part of a werewolf skill set, so to speak.
okay. I'm looking at something else for sure. Good. Hmm. What about our clue
Can
expert? Sorry. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, Jubilos can, like you said, can we
Oh yeah,
use
so
Jubilos now that we have?
you call Jubilost over. The way Jubilos's skill works is I can't just tell you what to do. So you suggest a question, and I'll tell you how to hold, and I'll roll a Jubilos's skill. Ask a question, ask about a clue, and say, is this a relevant clue or something like that?
I leave it to you, Charlotte.
Yeah.
Okay.
Charlotte.
So, Jubilos, we found the what we think is the mastermind's our killer's shoe. Can you tell us what type of person it is? And
What do you mean? What type of
I see,
person?
like for example, depending on their feet, they could
Oh,
be
oh,
a
I
tall
see.
person. A
Oh,
yeah,
this is
like
Jubilos's wheelhouse. This is his specialty. He picks
yeah,
up the
and
shoe. He starts examining it. He takes out his spectacles. He takes out his little tools. He looks at it. Jubilos says, "This is a human, male, ages somewhere realm of 18 to 50. It could be anywhere in between. Very athletic build, probably skilled. From the wearing of the heel of the shoe, like you can tell that this person is a skilled fighter or huntsman, something like that." He
Like
says,
maybe a ranger?
possibly.
Well, I think it's worth exploring that avenue and having a talk with this ranger.
then
Kunda the
before
Ranger
we
usually has a hangover in the daytime and is passed out in his room in the end.
Well, I think it
another
might be worth
question for
going then.
you, Jolas. We found
Yeah,
that right that shoe,
yeah.
but it also has moss from the west, from the swap march.
Uh,
Do you think you can give us more information about that?
Jubilos takes a little sip. He says, "Well, if you give me enough time, I can tell you what different plants and animals. You see, I've had training." And he goes off on a rant. He's like, "Yeah, I've had training in the academy, and we have this special device that uses two lenses to focus in, and it amplifies." And he goes on and on about academic. We call it a microscope. And he says, "Give me a day, and I'll give you an answer of what where the dirt is from." And he takes a little sample, puts it into a glass jar, and hands it off to one of his helpers.
No problem. So, do you want to go visit again that hunter?
Yeah, well, no one's actually spoke to him yet, have we?
No, you've only broken into
No.
his room. You haven't
Yeah,
approached him. You spied on him, and then you broke into his room.
Didn't
yeah,
we
let's go.
briefly? We met him briefly in the bar or in the tavern. I think like he passed us by and didn't
Yeah,
give us
you
much.
didn't exchange words. He just
Yeah.
walked right
Okay.
by.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kondo.
Okay,
let's go meet him.
so you guys go back to the tavern. The barkeep is still there. She did obviously she had to man the bar. She had to manage the bar, so she didn't listen to your speech.
Ask her if the ranger passed out of the premises.
She's like,
As
that's really strange of you to ask because earlier today I saw Kundar just rush out of here."
is his room locked?
Yeah. Do you want the key?
I do.
She hands you the key.
I'm the king. Of course she does.
Of course.
I say let's go and investigate.
So you go upstairs and you open Kundar's room. His weapons are not there anymore. You see you see empty potion bottle. Yeah, and remember, Neg was here earlier, so that his ledger is still there. You flip through the ledger, it's the same thing.
We didn't look. I didn't really look at any elsewhere in the room though. Is there other things in there that are of interest?
I will give everybody a perception roll if you
All right.
want. This is the same perception roll you failed earlier.
Mm.
The DC is not right. The actual DC you need to hit is 28.
28?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
right, right. Yeah, yeah. Right, that really tough
Well,
one.
I wouldn't have critical failed then.
Well, there's no penalty for critically failing this.
No, yeah, you wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, but
Yeah.
yeah.
No, this DC was especially high just because. You don't see anything out of the ordinary for different than what you had previously seen. There's a lot of different types of pelts and stuff like that. There, just ranger gear, a lot of different pelts. But you notice that his bow and his sword and his that were previously there are not there anymore. He must have taken with him. And then there's his empty potion bottle.
look for boots.
There are no boots.
I feel
Any
like I
dirt?
still feel that maybe he's a werewolf hunter instead of being the werewolf.
Well, you don't
Is
But
there
know.
any dirt?
I won't know.
Well, there's nothing more than there normally is. There's some dirt on the
Actually,
ground.
I want to go
Yeah.
back to Bella, and
Well, hold
I
on.
was
Before you go out, I was going to ask if you could look to see if anything matches nature-wise, maybe. You can do a check, perhaps, Scarlet, and see if that.
Well, the
I
dirt
mean,
on the
then
ground,
again,
of course it's similar to the dirt you found on the boot, but it's hard to tell
he's
if
a
it's any different.
ranger.
Yeah.
He's also a
Yeah.
ranger, so it would be circumstantial at best.
He,
Of course, he'd be out in the marsh.
he's a serious ranger that gets dirty and gritty and bloody with his animals because the room stinked of animal blood when we
Yeah.
were in earlier.
Yeah, I mean, because these are all pelts. Half of them, some of them are not fully dried, so there's a stench to them.
Hmm.
And that's how he makes a living. That's what his ledger says is different pelts that he sold to different people for different prices. And then that the interesting thing about trying to capture a living
Yeah,
thylacine.
he's trying to trap them live. Really dangerous animals. That's weird. But we know there's something to be found in this room somewhere,
Yeah,
someplace.
so because the DC was extraordinarily high and you guys all failed, you can't really metagame on that. You can't be like,
Yeah,
oh,
no, I know.
I'm going to see if I can try a different type of check. Maybe have my guards come in here and dismantle the room. You know,
Well,
can't really do it.
tear all the floorboards up
Whoa,
and all
whoa,
the
whoa.
paneling. Maybe we'll find something.
You have to act as if you did not perceive
Yeah,
whatever you did not perceive.
no, it makes sense.
You can't
okay.
be
Then
telling me things like, because now that's, I'm going to go and expect like, now I want to. It's in my right, damn it. I'm the king, John.
I know you're the king, but you know, even a king doesn't have metagaming skill powers.
Maybe in your kingdom.
You're talking about a god, and you can be the only time you can be a god is at the end of a campaign when you kill a god. Because every single campaign going from 1 to 20, there's nothing to fight but some sort of god, right?
All right.
Do we know from the bartendress's words whether or not that was close to the speech time that he ran out?
It
that's
was
what I
close
was
to the
going to
speech time.
ask.
It was. You asked that?
Yeah.
Okay, I missed
It
that.
was.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, that sure sounds suspicious, doesn't it? It's like
It
he
does.
used it as a diversion.
It
Maybe.
possibly could. You
Yeah.
know that this is starting to look a little shady. Is this red herring trying to distract you, or is he the killer? Who knows?
Well, either way, we know that he's doing things unusual, and we need to investigate
Yeah.
him, and we need to find out who Eric is. Eric's the really weird one. He wants these really ferocious animals alive. Maybe
Yeah.
he's the circus ringmaster. I don't know.
Yeah, Eric is not a name that that sounds familiar to any of you.
Hmm.
Actually, we never did talk back to the guy with the daughter that is dead. Just left him
Right.
in
Yeah,
the
Well, by
Yep.
now he's probably gone back to his farm.
Damn.
And we still need 1 day for our
Yeah,
friendly
Jubala
investigator
says
to
he
come
needs
back.
a day because he's very thorough and perfectionist, and he doesn't want to just go off on a whim. So he has to go and do his scientific study.
Tell him he's got an hour.
I'm the king, damn it. You have 1
Speed it
hour.
up. Speed it up. Yeah. That's cool. I mean, we could rest for a day but it's not enough time to do downtime activities right now. You need like a week.
Yeah, if you guys want to rest for the amount of time to do a downtime, you can just let me know. But obviously, if you rest during these things going on, things might
Yeah,
get
no,
real
we
bad.
can't. I mean, the kid pointed to the main front gate, right?
Yeah.
So maybe we should go out to the gate and the area around it and look there. Maybe Scarlet can pick up a
So,
track.
so you guys go up to the gate. Of course, there are guards at the gate. You're not, it's not that ridiculous. You look at the guard, and the guard salutes you, Your Majesty.
And you have not seen anyone come running through here lately?
No, not nobody has left the gate since
What about
since before your speech. And then
well,
the other guard is like I don't think so. I mean, I didn't see anybody.
you sound unsure. Why is that?
He's like, well, Your Majesty, I just had this strange feeling that like a gush of wind or something. I don't know. I can't explain it. I just can't explain it. But I felt like there something. But then I didn't see anybody. We didn't see anybody.
Hmm.
And you did not think to report this? No.
Well, how would that sound, Your Majesty? That I had a weird feeling. We took a look. There was nobody left the gate since your speech.
On,
Is it possible they
ev-
had some sort of invisibility spell or potion?
Um, so the guard doesn't know about invisibility, magic, or anything like that. He's very straightforward kind of a guard. He's like, I don't know, Your Majesty. I can't. I just had a weird feeling.
I want the the perimeters searched. I want the crime scene investigated. I have actually, where is the captain of the guard?
He calls the captain, and the captain comes. That would be the
Uh,
warden.
the warden. Yeah, I'll talk to the warden and I'll let him know. Listen,
It's
there
technically
is.
Valerie, I think.
Damn it, Valerie! What the hell are you doing? Valerie, I want everything searched. I want the crime scene searched. I want the victim's family members spoken to. I want to figure out who that body is. I want to figure out why they were chosen. Was it random or was it deliberate? Also, our suspect, there's a ranger. He is staying at the tavern. Perhaps you could find something we've missed at his room, and perhaps you can keep everyone on the lookout. I want total security. I do not want any more bodies. If there is anything of importance, the guard should have strict orders to keep it quiet and under control until we determine who the killer is. I and nobody should know about this, especially not the spy that has infiltrated us in broad daylight.
Valerie says, Your Majesty, upon my honor, it shall be done. I will not rest until the entire premises is scrubbed clean, inch by inch. And she motions for her soldiers to come, and they get to work. Do a very thorough perimeter search investigation. Are you gonna wait till she gives a report?
Is that going to take roughly?
I don't know, a couple hours, I guess. Yeah,
Um,
into the evening time when she'll be done.
well, I'm assuming you're, and obviously it's our choice. I know, but I'm assuming you're pushing us to look at the facts here, which kind of lean towards going out to the swamp. However, my only concern with that, John, is what happens when we leave. And at that same in that
Oh,
same token,
I'm
what
not.
happens if we
No,
stay?
I'm not. As a matter of fact, I'm not. I think you can choose. Why? I want it to be like
No,
a.
no, yeah, of
Yeah, yeah. You
course.
know what I'm saying? So there's some, what I have is, what kind of happened during during this crime, this murder, the evidence that, you have so far, and the suspicions of this ranger, who has all of a sudden just disappeared. That's unusual to his previous pattern. So you wait you wait a couple of hours, and Valerie completes her investigation. You guys go back to the castle, and she presents her entire report to you. So with as thorough as possible search, she tells you that the guard searches around the perimeter. They were able to find, and she says this is being kept of with utmost confidence. They were able to find wolf tracks that strangely become lighter and lighter until they disappear. And then, some human tracks, but they disappear into the bush where no longer tracks are present. Very cleverly and carefully hidden, so they disappear into the woods. Whoever this person is very skilled. They found a potion bottle inside the Kundal's uh, cabin. I mean his inn room, that has traces of an invisibility potion, and they deduce that he drank the potion to run out. So the guards did not notice him running out. On the crime scene itself, she says the merchant that was killed was someone by the name of Norbin. This guy was a textile merchant, specializing in different types of clothing. And the reason he was not in the middle in your speech is that he had previously had an argument with a customer in terms of the price of his something he was trying to sell, and he had been in a very heated argument. They had detained that customer, thoroughly questioned him, questioned all of his associates. The customer was just felt like the merchant was stiffing him. But the customer does not have any kind of suspicious leads or anything. The customer actually left the merchant shortly before the merchant was murdered. And the customer has alibis that checked out. He's not very suspicious as the person who committed the murder. In terms of going from what they investigated with this merchant named Norbin, he was very successful in his textile business, and he was actually selling out, putting other merchants in a similar business, a similar kind of fashion out of business, because he was so successful. He wasn't doing anything wrong, and he has no criminal inclinations or history. He was just a very shrewd and successful businessman. Of course, he has, he has a family in town and everything. They've been informed. They're having funeral arrangements. The nature of the murder is almost identical to the other murders. The body was ripped apart as if by a wild beast. Clearly, this is now that you're suspecting the werewolf.
Is there any relationship to this victim to the others?
There's no direct relationship between Norbin, the gnome, or the two teenagers killed on the farms.
There's something we're missing.
This also happened during the day, and the two teenagers were killed on a moonlight. So even were killed on Moon Knight, so it's very possible there's two wolves, and one of them was just an infected person.
That's also a possibility. But this Kundar, this ranger named Kundal, is clearly there's something suspicious going on now. Eventually, they found later on, after a thorough perimeter search, they found shreds of clothing that possibly could have belonged to the ranger or or any other adventurer that probably came off the wolf.
Well, does it match the ranger's clothing style? Does it match his size
Well,
and build?
there's shreds of clothing, so it's not clear. But the way the ranger was dressed was just a standard kind of outdoorsman, so it's hard to say. It's not like he's a guy who wears only purple and it's defining. It's hard to say, but sure, it certainly does.
Hey John, does Kuno the merchant who got killed? Does he sell like beaver, anything like maybe something that the ranger would have sold him?
The ranger did not have any direct dealings with Norbin, according to the Kundal's ledger. And then, as you guys wait until the evening time, the ranger doesn't come back.
I do want to ask before the evening time, I do want to convene with the other merchants that sell clothing and see if they could recognize the
Oh,
material
okay.
in this.
Uh, the material in what?
The clothing that we found, the
Oh, okay.
boots,
Yeah, well, as you
and
when you hand off the boots and the clothing to experts, that's what they tell you. They're like, well, these are, kind of, like standard adventuring boots. Anybody can buy them at, various merchants would sell them. There's nothing particularly defining about them. Same thing with the clothes. They're very kind of ordinary parts of a leather tunic. There's nothing that is very identifying or peculiar about them that would, lead us to say it's from a particular merchant. He's like, there's plenty of
what
people who sell leather tunics and boots.
what can you tell me about the victim?
Local merchants say that, as I said, they all know Norbin because he's a very shrewd salesman. He's very good with selling his wares to the customers. He's very popular and customers trust him, so he is kind of making other merchants who sell similar textiles struggle because he's so successful.
Is there any information that anyone would like to be forthcoming with?
The other merchants don't know of anything that would be kind of leading to this murder. They didn't notice that this Norbin had any enemies or anything like that. Besides that, he's a little people resent him a little bit, but nobody wants to kill him, as far as they know.
Have any of you dealt with the ranger?
There is one merchant who has bought a couple of furs from the ranger to make scarves, and he talks about Kundal. He's like, yeah, that man is always reeking of alcohol. He's very rude and brusque. But he doesn't charge much for his prices are pretty reasonable for furs. So I bought a couple of them. They were decent quality, but I didn't talk to him or anything. I don't know anything about him.
You don't know where he might reside outside of town?
No, the man was very private. He didn't want to chit chat. He didn't like small talk. He just talked business. He said I bought two fox furs off of him. They're decent quality and a decent price. That's as
You
far
know
as I
what,
know.
John? I think it might be worth, I know I'm jumping around here, but I think it might be worth asking individuals that would have talked to him a little bit more and that would potentially know where he would go out in the marshes. Typically, individuals like this would have a region in the marsh that they would frequent, or a place that they would reside at. I don't know if the barkeep would know this or if there would be other rangers that might know of him.
As well, he might have certain hides of animals that are only found in certain locations that he's brought.
That as well, yeah.
Yeah,
I actually,
they're in various in his ledgers, the different types of hides that he procures. They are located in various regions in the area, with the exception of this tiger, which is kind of rare. It's located far to the east, and more in the plains, past the marshes. And this thylacine, that's a rare animal. That's a rare beast. That would be somewhere down deep in past the Nar marshes.
And
That's
John,
far.
could we ask people like if anybody knows about Hook Tongue Slough?
They're like, yeah, Tung Slough's the region west of Nar marshes. So if you guys open up your map, past west of the Nar marshes is a very kind of
Right.
a much more kind of next to Lake Tung. There's a lot of tributaries. So there, it's less kind of trees and marshes and more just kind of like swampy tributaries. That's the region known
Mm.
as Tung Slough.
Do we want to cut it here? It is
Yeah,
11. I'm not
I
sure.
think
Yeah.
we should. Unfortunately, you guys did not activate any combats today, but that's okay.
That's
Not every
fine.
game